Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce the launch of our Minnesota Wild merch. All you got to do is go to 10ktakesmn.com, go to the shop tab, and check out our brand new Minnesota Wild merch. We got you covered from sweatshirts to awesome graphic tees, even hats. So once again, go to 10ktakesmn.com, go to the shop tab, check it out. We also have Minnesota Twins merch. Rep the Twins during the playoff run. Minnesota Vikings merch, which season may be sad, but hey, at least you can support your favorite team. And now we're going to be releasing this awesome Minnesota Wild merch. Go to 10ktakesmn.com, go to the shop tab, support us today.
On this episode of It's a Bit, we're joined by Emma Carpenter. She's a golfer at the University of Minnesota, dabbles in broadcasting. She sings national anthem, has her own clothing line. She's awesome, has a lot going on, a great interview with Emma. We're also going to talk Minnesota sports. It was a bit of a tough weekend. The Gophers lost. The Twins lost once. The Vikings lost. The Wild are back. We're actually recording this right after Game 3 of the Twins and Astros, so we'll give a little immediate reactions to that. And we're going to finish the show with our bits of the week as always. So all of that and more on It's a Bit.
To the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Never stand still, that's the motto. Yeah, brand new bands for the auto. Oh, foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Damn, y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by a full studio, Wags, producer Cam, journalist Jake. Week 2 in the new studio, we got a little more lighting. There's a mural behind me if you're watching on YouTube. That's pretty badass, although Marlo got mad at me because I screwed up the K and takes. It does actually look, now that I look at it from the camera, it does look fucked up.
It's because it's not colored in. I think once we color it in, it'll look fine.
Jack made the K fatter.
You made it look like an E.
Okay, to my credit though, there was a line that went there, and I could have maybe should have been erased on the original sketch. I'm not going to throw Marlo under the bus because the whole thing looks great.
Was Marlo actually kind of mad at you?
He was.
I mean, he was, but I was
a
like,
little upset.
I'm like, this is what you get for allowing me, dude. I was the worst at art. I'm still probably the worst artist you'd ever meet. Like, I'm not great at art. I almost am probably allergic to it. So to be honest, I was surprised that I was able to color in most of the A without fucking it up. But couldn't we throw white out over it? No, because this is like off-white paint. I don't know.
I think it'll look. I think it was colored in fine.
It'll be fine.
He can fix it.
Jack had too many cultivated CBD seltzers, and he couldn't color in the lines.
Nice plug. We do love cultivated CBD. I drank 4 of those seltzers and watched a Wild game. The
video
was live. I got really high and just giggled at preseason hockey, and that's what we deliver here at 10,000 Takes. Is we get chopped and we watch sports.
We get fucked
because that's what we care about.
Speaking of sports and cultivated CBD, I could use one of those products now because of how stressful the Twins game was today. We lost 9-1 to the Astros.
Just like not stressful, I don't think.
Well, it was nice that they started getting blown out right away because then we knew what to expect.
But it was stressful for those first few innings because they couldn't put up a fucking run.
Yeah,
they had 2 guys on with 1 out, 2 innings in a row. We thought maybe there's a chance we could tie this game up. Nope.
It was a little it was very frustrating seeing them. I thought there was multiple times in that game where there was a guy on first and second when we got out of the inning. Yeah. I'm like, come on, just punch it in now. Come on.
And here's the big thing. We're having so many issues with runners in scoring position. We need someone other than Carlos Correa to be able to hit someone home, and no one on the team is able to right now.
I also think Sonny Gray owes the entire Minnesota Twins fan base an apology because we started off the game with Johan Santana throwing the first pitch to Joe Mauer, wearing a Pablo Lopez jersey. If you forgot, Game 1 against Toronto, Pablo Lopez came out wearing a Johan Santana jersey, and they're both from Venezuela. So it was really cool to see Santana throw a first pitch to Mauer, just like old times, and then he takes off his windbreaker, and it's the Pablo Lopez jersey they hug. Then we just proceed to get boat raced.
I know, right? Like the first pitch was by far the highlight of the game, right? Nothing else came to it. And what I loved about the first pitch too was Johan Santana. He did a slow reveal of the jersey. He played up to the dramatics. He did the pitch. Pablo Lopez came out to shake his hand, and Johan stopped him. And then he slowly undid his windbreaker, revealing the Pablo Lopez jersey. That was amazing.
It was all-time. It was an all-time moment, and it's just so unfortunate. It was. Imagine if when Mason Shaw, after tearing his 4th ACL, goes up and does Let's Play Hockey Game 3, and then the Wild get killed. That's kind of that didn't happen. We obviously kicked their ass in Game 3 against the Stars, and that made the moment that much better. But starting off the game with that and then proceeding to get embarrassed at home, we just got blue balls completely by that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't even. It's upsetting. It's upsetting watching it and having to talk about it immediately after.
I don't even know how to process it really.
Yeah, because I remember I even though game 1 was a lot closer and it was a lot more fun to watch, I felt very similar after game 1. Like we're just gonna blow it all. And then game 2, you get such a high after the W, and then game 3 happens. I'm trying to approach it more level headed, right?
Yeah, because when I started watching the game, when I turned it on, I'm like, wow, this feels weird. You see the 1-1 series tied graphic, ALDS. Whoa, it doesn't say 2-0 Houston, where it's been when we were in the ALDS in the past. I'm like, we're competing, and you feel it with the Carlos Correa and Royce Lewis and the good pitching with Pablo Lopez. Like, we don't have this hype in Minnesota. We just never had it. So I actually had a little bit of optimism going into that game, and for them to do that was just a little bit of a it was
a reminder. It was a reminder to what Minnesota sports ultimately is.
Put us in our place, I guess.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
We got a little too cocky, I think, after Sunday. We thought, you know what, we're going to sweep this Houston Astros team. We're going to make some jokes about them cheating 3 years ago, and we're going to send them home. That just didn't happen. That just didn't happen at all. Some of the Astro fans don't like me because I made fun of Pena for celebrating
their shortstop
after he got on base. Turns out he promised some sick kids.
I saw that.
Tough look. I made fun of him for celebrating when they were down 5-rip by getting on base and shaking around his hips. Turns out he promised some kids with cancer that he would do that celebration when he got on base. Not a great look for me. I don't hate kids with cancer. I'm just going to go out and say that before the press gets it. But now that a lot of those guys don't like me, there's a lot of people in Texas who don't like me after the star stuff last year. But now they're like, oh, well, how does the celebrating Pena did look now? And I'm like, it's still hilarious. You were down 5-rip.
Here's the thing. He did it for sick kids, and he did it to honor them, which is awesome. 2, he still did it. It looked ridiculous, and it was when they were losing by a lot.
Yeah, don't promise kids you're going to do it when you're down, maybe.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Why didn't he do it game 1?
That's a good point. He's been on base
why can't he wait until they're winning in game 3 to do it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying though? There's just, I feel like there's a time and place, and no matter who you promise, there's a time and place for this.
Well, yeah. So we lost. The weird thing with today's game was the sunlight issue. So Target Field has always been like this, but if they play at 3 p.m., the sun is in a specific spot where the pitcher is in the shadow, then there's a chunk of light, and then the batter's in the shadow. So the ball essentially goes from dark to light to dark. And they were showing the ESPN catcher cam where he's
the umpire.
Yeah. And it did look like the ball was impossible to hit when it was like that. But the Astros were fucking juicing it, so it didn't even matter. So I really wanted to do a Buttergate-esque excuse train about that until I realized that the Astros were also getting screwed over by the sunlight problem. So.
Right, and also you would think that the sunlight problem would benefit Minnesota having to fight through it a few times this year. Apparently not.
Apparently what they're saying is that new high-rise apartment that's on top of the Budweiser roof deck is fucking pitiful to look at.
Oh, no.
I'm sure. It kind of looks disgusting.
If you try to look down to the third baseline to see the hitting coach, or even it's in the corner of your eye, they say the reflection is so bad.
Tear it down.
Especially when they're going to rent those out and there's going to be some drunk daddy money chads out there partying on the rooftop with the boys and just distracting everyone on the field.
They're going to try to throw shit onto the field, but they're just going to miss.
Yeah, red solos and flamingo bombs.
Yeah.
Well, Cam, do you think that issue will go away when they finalize the building and everything?
Well, it depends. Because I haven't paid attention to it the past couple times I'm there, so I don't know what how they built the building. If it's all glass, no, it's going to be fucked.
Yeah, the reflection.
But I'm sure if it gets really bad, they'll be told to hey, change this now.
You know what, the Twins should do what Las Vegas is currently doing with the hotels. They're if you don't pay a licensing fee to watch the games, we're just going to put up a big black curtain to block your view of the game. If everyone in that apartment building isn't paying the price of a regular season ticket, they should be putting a big black curtain over that entire building, thus blocking the distraction from the players and getting the team more income. Because I know the Twins would love that money.
100%.
Did any of you else find it weird? During the broadcast, they were talking about how the Houston Astros were more than likely prepared for Sonny Gray's sweeper because they can dial these machines and set them up. The pitching machines to almost reflect and be exact to how
Matt Wallner uses that.
Yeah,
not correct.
Well, no. So this is what they're announcing. I'm not saying this is my opinion, but I'm just saying That would be fucking insane. That almost feels like cheating if they allow these machines to literally
Our players use those machines.
literally accurately, imitate how a pitcher pitches, and you could literally just go into the machine and then literally just master how that pitcher pitches the sweeper, for example.
It's truly ridiculous. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Astros that figured out a way to do that because they're cheating bitches.
Assholes.
Except Correa, he's clean now. And I forgive him for all of his sins. Hallowed be that name. But the fact that like Sonny Gray, Jake, did you
just had an episode.
Someone keep the last 3 picks. People have taken my guy the pick before me.
So for those of you who don't know, Cam, Jack, and Jake are currently participating during this podcast in a fantasy draft. They're not in charge of it. It was unfortunate.
This is a $100 league
Yeah.
too, so you have to allow us to be assholes.
I
with
do.
us.
All of our hockey fans, though, I do want to point out that Jake is having a panic attack because he doesn't get Kevin Shattenkirk. I think you're going to be
No, it was Sandin, Ryan Sandin.
Oh,
I was
okay.
looking at his plus minus. It was very good, and I could use him as a depth guy. I just got whatever his
My
fucking
strategy,
was.
if he sounds Russian, draft him.
Pedersen.
Anyway.
you know a lot of the NHL, Jake, they're moving away from the plus-minus stat just because it's not really a good stat to kind of judge
They should have
players
done that
by.
with football last year with the Vikings, the point differential. Do you want to know who's being subjected to that now? The New York Giants.
Which is hilarious.
Their point differential is like the worst of all time right now.
Anyway,
Or the
I'm pretty sure
Broncos,
Sonny Gray only gave up 8 home runs on his sweeper this year. Maybe, I don't know. I
know.
I might have read the stat wrong. Call me stupid, but it could have been he only gave up 8 home runs all year. I don't know.
Well, didn't they
but what I
say-
do know is
Yeah,
that he
never
gave up 2 today, both on the sweeper.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it.
Didn't they say the last time he gave up a home run on the sweeper was July of 2022?
Yeah.
And now fucking Houston
Yeah.
hits 2, and then
So
they interviewed Bregman. They're like, "Oh, are you seeing the ball today?" Like, and he was being very secretive. Like, he's a great pitcher. I'm just, I squared up on it and hit it well. Like he was saying it was just all luck. I'm like, even the announcers were saying, like, I think he's trying to say that he's not going to tell his secret. Like, they know something, and it means someone's banging the drum or some shit again. But it's in their headset. I don't know.
While we're on the topic of the Twins, a few awesome things we saw in the crowd at today's game. There was a kid holding up a sign that said 3 things I hate. Eating broccoli, true. Doing homework, true. And the Houston Astros, very true. So kids know more than us. And another great thing I saw was a fan who had a Minnesota Twins helmet. Half his face is painted red, and the other half his face is painted black, and he has like a terrifying beard. So my favorite thing when I see people with their face painted at games, specifically adults, is I love picturing them sitting in traffic after the game. Just like
Painted up.
just staring at the car in front of them, listening to the post game, waiting to get home, just
Depressed as hell.
looking like a child.
Yes.
It's my favorite image anytime I see an adult with their face painted at a sporting event.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's tough. We have game 4 tomorrow or today when this podcast comes out at Target Field. I think we'll have Joe Ryan, who's Jake's boyfriend, on the mound. And
Yeah.
right?
Did I say? Is that because I said he was a good-looking dude?
He is a good looking
Yeah,
guy.
he is a good-looking
We all
guy.
got his bobblehead.
Yeah,
That's
we
true.
did. So I'm in love with
Jake's
Joe
done
Ryan.
some things with the bobblehead.
Yeah,
We're not
sure.
going to get into that, but
Oh, well, here's the thing, too. The Twins still can win the series, okay?
Easy.
They
Yes.
really
It's
can.
not over.
So Joe Ryan needs a good game tomorrow, and then what, we have Pablo in game 5 maybe on 3 days rest, 4 days rest?
Yeah, it'll be Pablo Verlander.
Yeah, which, again, would be an electric
bet the
pitching
under.
match. So, again,
Actually, that's 5 days rest. That's perfect.
Yeah, so he'll be fine there.
That's
So again,
hot.
all we need to do is win one of these games and ride Pablo in game 5, and who knows, we could easily win the series. But again, a lot of work ahead of us.
yep.
How hard do we have to ride him?
As hard as you can.
How hard do we have to pay him or bang the drum? I don't know.
What?
The world may never know.
The world may never know. All right, that's enough on the Twins. Hopefully, the next time we record this, we're on to the ALCS.
That would be fucking awesome.
Vibes would be high, man. Can you imagine this city, AL? Like, there'd be no point in even trying to go through the Loring Tunnel anymore
Yeah,
because the traffic would be so bad.
We won one game this series, and did you see Target Field for a 3 p.m. start time? Like, I mean, they were crazy.
Packed.
It was the 8th inning. They were down by like 7 runs, and the place was still packed.
And they were still cheering, and it was like $160 to sit in the upper level of the game. So that's a fan base who deserves so much more. But
Yep.
we're also not going to be like greedy and not appreciate how far we've come,
Yeah.
how far we've gotten. Because
This ride's
it's
already
pretty
been
impressive
awesome.
that we've got that we actually made a run in a sport, which is
Does it happen, Jack?
yeah, I know you can't use that word very often. So Well, I guess getting a little more depressing, the Gophers lost. I was at my brother's wedding, so I was very thankful to just check the score every half hour and see that the number for Michigan kept going higher. You guys were at the game, 52-10 final.
Yeah. Again, so that score, when you say it sounds absolutely horrible. It didn't feel like that until third quarter. It felt like at the half the Gophers had a chance to kind of turn it around. They threw that bomb from Kaliak praying mantis to was it Jackson at the end of the first half.
Jackson.
Yeah, at the end of the first half, and it was an amazing throw. It was like one of the only throws they actually completed all fucking game. But I actually thought, hey, they might they stop Michigan at the start of the second half and actually score, and hey, you're only down by a touchdown. It went the opposite way real quick. And I'm not going to lie, it's something actually really freeing being blown out by that much. Like, a lot of the Gopher games, I'm a little bit nervous, or I just want us to hold into the lead, or I'm even bored. I was just kind of sitting there in awe that Michigan was doing what they were doing to us, even with backups. It was just nice to, not be freaking out about a game and actually just watching it.
So, journalist Jake, I have a statistic for you. In the second half, the Gophers ran 27 plays, including punts, and only 5 of them were passes. Is it time to have the conversation about PJ Fleck's coaching abilities?
I mean, the conversation has already been open
for 3 years.
For a few years since the
Since
Bowling
2019.
Green shit with the playing not to lose mentality, which is getting very annoying. But that was just embarrassing.
He had to run that much because he wanted the game to get over with, right? Like, he just wanted to run out the clock.
but
you wanted to run out the
but
clock.
then
that's
you, but
why.
then-
Like,
but
why
then-
else?
It's like that happened in the Northwestern game. It risks then the team becoming very predictable, and the team just know, it's a run. Okay, well, it's another 3 and out. You're giving the ball back, so then you're just giving them time.
And then guess
to come
what?
back.
Michigan isn't playing conservative. They're shoving it down your throat every single time.
I know. Oh, yeah, they're
Championship
not. They're
mindset right
literally.
there.
Well, they have Jim Harbaugh, Mr. Khaki Pants or whatever.
He wasn't wearing khakis.
He wasn't.
No
That's
diaper?
weird.
No diaper?
Didn't
Wow.
see
Yeah.
one.
But that was just embarrassing. I questioned my entire fandom after that game.
I will say I was at a demolition derby during the game, and it
Excuse
was
me.
so much better.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was at a
I
wedding. I had a great night.
Yeah, I was following the game on my phone a little bit. But I just didn't care. After I saw we're getting killed, I'm like, perfect. I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm sure it was still fun.
I didn't waste my time. I love those games no matter what. I stayed to the very end.
Bubba and I didn't.
I know you didn't.
No, when they got into the 40s, we were like,
I mean,
see you later,
well,
dude.
see, like what irritated me is this is like I felt like I was just thrown into the past in 2010 and seeing them
You're
lose
just relit-
54-7 to Ohio State, but that was
Yeah.
2010 when we had fucking Tim Chili Hot Brewster. This is a guy in his 7th year.
Yeah.
PJ Fleck, we're supposed to be good right now, we're supposed to be competing again, and you're losing. We lost 55-0, I think, in Jerry Kill's first year in 2011. When we were at a shit team. This is now a 7th year team. You're losing 52-10. You can't figure it out. Come on, man.
Dude, and I realized too when my team is getting blown out and the other opposing team fans are around me cheering, I get really annoyed at the littlest things. Michigan fans that just kept standing up yelling, "Go blue!" And eventually I was like, "Why are you just standing up and shouting, go a color?" Like I just got so mad about that. Like,
Another thing too is they were getting up and yelling it and cheering they were going down to the field and screaming on the other side of the opposite side of where the team was actually going in the locker room, because I was we were kind of watching near the top of the lower level, and there were fans flying down to go near the field, high-fiving and hugging. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I would have thought they just beat the number 1 team on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
You won 52-10. Why are you still in the stadium hugging and high-fiving and everything? I'd already be at the bar we're fucking good. We just killed them. We did what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're sitting there. They're acting like they literally beat the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
And that's great passion. I get that. But what? Why are you still here?
Dude, I was such a salty fan on Saturday where I had 4 Michigan fans in front of us, and I was just judging them so hardcore on the littlest things. You know how they put a bunch of children with cancer on the board and everyone will clap?
Yeah, I know,
no,
I know.
are you
I
They
know.
didn't. They didn't clap for a single
Yeah.
one of the
Oh,
fucking
they're
cancer
assholes.
children. However,
Assholes.
the first second something Michigan does, they say "Go blue," and they're going. It's like you can't clap for cancer children, but you're gonna just yell "Go blue" every second you get, even when you're up 45-10.
Reminder:
or whatever.
I don't
go blue.
hate people with cancer. Michigan fans do.
Yes, right. That's just that's how salty I was. I was just judging all Michigan fans on the 4 people in front. I was like, oh,
But then again,
Michigan hates
Jake hates kids with cancer too. Remember?
Yeah,
I do
that
because
is
Roger
true.
Goodell.
Jake booed him.
Yep, I did. Was that the
tough
playoff
one,
game?
Yeah,
it
we were at
was.
the playoff
He
game.
was booing
Fuck
Roger
Goodell.
Yeah,
booing
it's,
Roger.
Yeah, so
Roger-
then I was booing then I by association booed the kid with cancer.
So what happened was the playoff game
so
happened,
fucked up
and
to think about.
the Minnesota Vikings were honoring a child with cancer in the end zone during an intermission. And it was a surprise by the NFL where they had Roger Goodell come up and surprise him with Super Bowl tickets. So they honor the kid with cancer, and they immediately turn the camera to Goodell. And Jake doesn't hear any of the cancer stuff because I think he's talking.
Yeah,
he's
I was
really
talking,
into something.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, he sees Roger Goodell, and he's the only person who stands up. Boo! And everyone is just staring at him like, how dare you boo a kid with cancer?
Yeah, because I didn't hear what was happening before that, and I think I just literally heard Roger Goodell over the PA and saw him. I'm like, fuck this guy. and then that asshole Giants fan in front of me, oh, he's booing a guy with cancer.
I laughed.
And then you're like, fuck you. Yeah, I think I accidentally did that.
Fuck
I,
that guy.
I am here to declare that I think it's time that the University of Minnesota cleans house.
Ooh.
Lindsay Whalen.
Officially?
Lindsay
She's
Whalen
already
Ben
stepped
Johnson.
down, but I will promise you that she was about to get fired if she didn't quit. It's time for Ben Johnson to go. Unfortunately, it's time for PJ to go.
Dang, you're going to hit the trifecta.
I wouldn't be on
What
the
about
boat.
baseball? I've heard their ass, too.
Yeah, John Anderson's
Sure.
been there for 40 years. He's established his credibility. But I'm not on the boat of saying fire PJ Fleck, having seen how bad this team can get and the depths it can get to. Now, there's frustrating stuff, but like I've seen this team I've gone to games where they're 2-9, and they're losing every game by 40
But
points.
not 7 years into the fucking.
So
coach's program.
I know, but they're 3-3 right now. I'm still confident they can beat like a Michigan State or even compete with an Iowa. They're not. Cam, you're acting like this is 2010.
Yeah, what if
and
let's
we're
just say,
1-8?
What if they only win one more game?
No,
the rest
this
of the
is.
year?
I'm just saying. I would definitely be questioning it, but I wouldn't say fire him yet.
Even if we only won one more game, you wouldn't fire him.
They're not going to though.
You're crazy.
They're not going to.
They didn't
Why?
say
So
that.
Why?
because they've already signed him to like a multi-year contract. He's like signed through
It's a
2027.
$7 million
28.
buyout. Scott Frost was $15 million.
Yeah.
$7 million.
I
is
don't
nothing.
think they will. I might be on the boat personally of like, yeah, maybe we do have to part ways 7 years, but the university's not going to fire him.
Okay.
I think we're going to go 6-6. I do.
Okay, I'm just
don't.
I just seen the depths and the pits that this team has been at, and they're not nearly as at the rock bottom as I seen them.
I think
I've seen this team at the pits.
This is the year where I think we beat Iowa because it's not going to make any sense.
I know, right? And that's what Minnesota teams do. But we're kind of a beaten puppy with this, right? Like we got rid of Glenn Mason, who was after 10 years of being at the program, he was doing kind of the same crap that we're seeing PJ do now, where he can't close out games and is getting blown out by some teams he shouldn't. And then we fire Glenn Mason, a guy who had been here 10 years, got us to our first 10-win season, like PJ did, in 15 years. And then we get Tim Brewster and go 1-11 in 2007. He ends up being here 3.5 years and really derailing the program even further than Glenn Mason did. So I'm just worried if we were to fire PJ Fleck, just don't repeat a Tim Brewster where you bring in a guy that says, I'm going to promise a national championship to a team that hasn't won a national title in 6 years.
Since Vietnam, yeah.
Yeah, so let's
Takes the
literally.
deep breath.
I feel like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura, but still, no, it's true. That's where my hesitancy lies with the PJ Fleck firing stuff. But I am very much very frustrated with him right now.
The funny thing too, I feel like if PJ just wins against Northwestern, they're not even having this talk.
No, they'd be
Probably
4-2. They'd be like they beat who they needed to beat.
Yeah.
But that game was like the epitome of what PJ Fleck has done in the last few years of playing not to lose in his style of football, and people are upset with that, which I get, and I am too. But we'll see what happens. Fire PJ Fleck.
Tell us how you really
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good dude off the field, obviously.
Oh, he
Oh
is.
yeah,
Stuff,
dude, he's
but,
an amazing recruiter. I think some of his game decisions are a little
Yes.
questionable.
Game time
Amazing
decisions.
recruiter, amazing at building culture. He's like the best dude ever. It's just I just saw 5 fucking passes and I'm like, why not just throw the ball?
I know.
up?
That was annoying too. Like at this point, nothing to lose. Just throw
Show
it
some
out.
personality.
Throw it deep.
I don't
Ethan
know.
can throw it deep.
I know.
Dude, but
Let him be
how many,
him.
How many they ended up with like 70, 80 passing yards, and like 35 of them came from that touchdown throw at the end of the half. He couldn't complete a pass to save his life, and I'm not sure if that's coaching or if that's Ethan. I don't know.
And what sucks is like our running game actually looked good at some spots.
So
like
the-
they actually broke some big runs.
the
I'm like,
O-line
wow, this looks good.
The O-line was opening up some holes running
Yeah,
wise.
but then pass protection was not good.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't make sense. How are you run blocking this well, but you can't protect the quarterback?
Dude, so Jake, I forgot to tell you this. So Jake came up to Bubba and I up in the stands, and this was near the end of the first half. And Jake was just complaining about the offensive line hardcore and how that Ethan doesn't have a chance to throw. And he leaves, and maybe 20 seconds after, I just hear a guy from behind us saying, "I don't know if that one guy was talking about. It's all Ethan's fault."
It's turning into the Kirk stuff. I mean, I don't want to rip on Ethan, but there was definitely some points like that first interception.
Pass,
what were he? I don't know what he's going to. But to say that guy is, I might be totally in the wrong of going the extreme of the O line, but for him to say it's all Ethan's fault when literally we witnessed a few plays where Michigan came through in a millisecond.
Jake, you should have challenged him to a eventually viral TikTok fist fight in the middle of the game.
I should have. I hope he should have said something to me when
you were there.
Came over.
Fuck you, pussy. What'd you say?
You should have turned around. You couldn't say that to his face, pussy, and then they would be mad at you, and then Bubba would have had to get into a fight.
No, Bubba loved it. He turned. He's like, "Ha ha!"
No, he'd be the guy he'd be the guy filming.
Yeah. Bubba. Well, no, yeah, exactly, because he knows you can just press the hernia and he's out.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Vikings before we talk about the game specifically. I have an announcement, a confession, a apology that I owe to the Vikings fan base. I want to get ahead of it before someone else brings it up. That's the beauty of being the host. I, Jack, Robert Leverance, Bossman, 10,000 Takes, am a fake fan. I fell asleep during the entire second half of the game. Jake was with me Sunday. I didn't feel super hungover. I was at my brother's wedding. Here comes the excuse right here. I was at my brother's wedding, celebrating him, living life with my family. And we woke up early the next day. I did have to listen to my cousin vomit all night because we shared a hotel room, so I didn't get the greatest sleep. And I got back from the wedding. I had to help clean up the venue, which was totally fine. I had to drive an hour back to Plymouth. Sat down on the couch, watched the first half, and thought, you know what, I'm going to go upstairs, maybe take a little nappy nap. Every time I do this, I fall asleep right before halftime. I wake up in the middle of the third quarter. All is good, right? Fucking have a cam nap. Literally, nothing, not even a nuclear bomb from Russia could have stopped me from waking up during this. I wake up during the post-game show, and there is not a more disappointing, depressing feeling, even though I didn't witness a win, even though what I witnessed was another heartbreaking, typical Vikings loss. It still is just so disappointing to look forward to a game from one of your favorite teams all week and just fucking sleep during the entire thing.
Yeah, it only happens once a week, and you're sleeping during it.
And I don't want to be the guy who filmed Cam last week sleeping and made fun of him, and then I try to brush it under the rug when I take a nap during the entire fucking half of the second half of the game. So I just wanted to say it before anyone else said it, that I'm a fake fan, and I deserve anything that you guys want to throw at me.
Well, I'm just going to give you credit for admitting it, because, a smaller man wouldn't have.
Yep. Listen.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't a lot to have seen.
Taylor Swift wasn't there, luckily.
Thank God.
But I honestly, when everyone realized that she was not there, I thought maybe this is the game the Vikings win, because the Chiefs will never be allowed to lose when she's there, because it would just be so bad for marketing, for the new audience, all that. So I thought, when Taylor Swift said she was not going to come to Minneapolis and go to U.S. Bank Stadium and watch this game, maybe the Vikings will win because it's not rigged. If she's not there, she can't be publicly upset. Doesn't really change anything about her and her fans becoming a part of the NFL, and maybe the Vikings somehow slip out of that rigged system that is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%. And watching the game was like Groundhog Day all over again. Just fumble on the very first play.
Buttergate.
Like Buttergate.
Becomes more relevant every week. Josh Oliver on the first fucking play of the game.
And the funny thing was, it was like a little tight end screen or whatever. He gets like 15, 16 yards, and I'm not even expecting a fumble. And when it happens, I'm not even sure why I'm shocked anymore. I sit and look at the screen with my jaw dropped. I didn't say anything for about 5 minutes. I ended up texting Jake, and Jake told me that he ended up throwing his phone in his head.
Yeah, I didn't reply to you right away because literally my phone was sitting on the carpet where I threw it for half of that quarter. I remember I chucked my phone, and I could have chucked it in anything. I wasn't thinking. I chucked my hat, and my hat was literally on the kitchen floor just sitting there, and I was just walking around. You got to be fucking kidding me. Are you kidding me?
First play.
Are we in the Twilight Zone?
Here's the solution. So KOC said, I quote, if guys don't stop fumbling, we're going to replace them with guys who don't fumble. I think it's time we talk about switching out a TJ Hawkinson, a Josh Oliver for a Johnny Munt.
Yeah. And Tanner Morgan.
Hey, all I'm
Tanner,
saying-
Tanner got fucked today.
He
by
got
the way.
released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I'm
that's
denouncing the
okay.
Vikings organization for that
Which
That-
people expected, but
Of all the moves that the Vikings have made this entire year, you can say what you want about Kwesi. Signing Tanner last week to the practice squad and then cutting him literally like less than a week later, I'm out on Kwesi now.
Hey, but
What an asshole.
would it make you feel better if I told you he brought in Colt McCoy for a workout today?
what? Oh no! don't even
But-
tell Vikings idiots on Twitter that.
No, they
Start
did.
Colt McCoy.
We don't even need Kirk. We can trade him to the Jets. It can all work.
No, we got our
Plus-
guy now. We can finish up with Colt McCoy and tank and still have a decent quarterback.
And we got to trade JJ.
Stop.
I have breaking news though.
Oh,
What is it?
as of Tuesday
The
night.
Indianapolis Colts have signed Kellen Mond to the practice squad.
Oh God.
Oh, see,
you
I
guys
was,
are down
Replacing
bad.
Anthony Richardson.
he's,
that means
he's
Anthony
fucking
Richardson.
bad too, though.
Yeah, he's brutal.
Yeah, dude, he couldn't even make the Browns.
Now we
Have
just need
fun.
now we just need to sign Zimmer as the defensive coordinator for Indianapolis, which we actually have a pretty good defense right now. But
And then
it'd
you'll
be
be good.
funny to sign Zimmer just to get that little riff back.
I think
Zimmy?
Zimmer would make it great if he was just a defensive coordinator only.
I know.
I think that'd be a great signing,
Is
to
he
be honest.
is he still with Jackson?
Isn't he with
Colorado?
Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado?
He never
yeah.
was. That was such a sham.
Well,
Well,
was
it's,
a sham.
it's on Wikipedia and everything that he
wrong.
currently coaches there.
He doesn't
but-
coach anywhere. He's in his ranch.
He's in his ranch,
Oh.
getting drunk, having fun, sleeping with girls who are half his age. It's just he's living the Mike Zimmer life.
for
He's,
him, I
he's wearing T-shirts. His tits are out. It's
Eye patches.
he's got an eye
fought.
patch. He does.
He's a pirate.
No, but yeah. So the Vikings.
There's not much to say. I mean, it's just how it is.
And now JJ's out for up to 4 weeks, I think.
At least 4 weeks.
So
We're fucked.
So Sports Illustrated has an article talking about Mike Zimmer joining Colorado staff.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated fell for a Twitter rumor.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
from like
There's just multiple articles.
I always
that
love
he is,
that.
which is
I always
hilarious.
love
Well,
that.
Cam, I thought you were just being sarcastic, as in he's actually coaching there, but you're like, nope, mentally he's like in his ranch. Fuck him.
No, he's actually not coaching.
Oh,
that NFC
just a title.
that NFC North News Twitter page that gets so
Ah,
many
the
people
worst.
for like trade rumors and stuff, and they're good enough to where you believe it for a second, and then you realize it's trolling later, but it takes you a little too long.
see, I was hoping that it was kind of true, but then again, obviously, who cares in the end? But like, I wish like Colorado played this year at Huntington Bank Stadium because they came last year, but they weren't obviously as exciting. But they came this year with Deion Jackson.
The running back for the
Deion
Indianapolis
Sanders.
Colts.
Yeah, he's ass too, by the way.
What
Deion
am I
Jackson,
talking
the
about?
jury's
Fucking
out
Deion
on him.
Jackson. Deion Sanders and Tim Brewster returning, and then hypothetically, if Mike Zimmer was on that team and coaching, and they did play this year, that'd be crazy having Tim Brewster and Mike Zimmer both on the staff.
The
on
trifecta.
sideline. They both coached on that sideline because Zimmer did. When they were playing at
You
TCF.
thought the whole Jerry Kill situation was weird.
Imagine Tim
Imagine
Brewster,
seeing that.
Zimmer.
No, I texted Tanner and said congrats when he got signed to the Vikings practice squad, and now
Now you look like an asshole.
Do I say sorry now?
Don't
You should
just text
text him and say, "Give me that."
He give me
I'm gonna text him and say, "Don't worry, the Vikings fan base already wants Kwesi's head. This was the straw that broke the camel's back."
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's better than writing congrats again.
No, I was just he could say, "Hey, congrats from getting leaving that horrible franchise."
True.
You could.
They're dis-
Maybe it's
they're
a double
disappointing. You
double
ju-
entendre.
He jumped off the Titanic.
Yep.
Is what happened.
So you could say
he
congrats.
got a lifeboat.
He's
He
gonna
got
swim again.
So much free Vikings gear though. That's
Oh,
Oh yeah.
And
He's good
he
for
probably
life.
made $30K that week. He was on the practice squad. It was a good week for Tanner.
He made more than what some people make a year, probably in
that 1 week,
So,
yeah.
life could
Good
be
for him.
worse. Life could be worse for our friend Tanner.
Last
for
thing,
him.
talk about the Vikings. Justin Jefferson put on IR, out for at least 4 weeks, and it could even be the year, depending on how the Vikings are playing, because obviously he's not going to return to a team that's completely out of contention. How depressed are we? How are we feeling right now?
I'm gonna do what most of like the burners on Twitter do. I'm gonna change my profile picture to Jordan Addison, and then I'm gonna just change my name in all caps to Jordan Addison Season.
SCN,
Yeah.
though,
And then I'm gonna have
And
a
then
ton,
put-
I'm gonna have a ton of those like devil emojis in my bio that says #skull, #MN Twins, #MN Wild.
all the
And then
teams.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my new bit. I think I'm just gonna do that.
And you also have to put the record of the team
Yeah.
next to it in
Oh
parentheses.
yeah.
You got to do that.
One and 4. Except
Yeah.
I should always have it 1 off in our favor. Like I'll change it to 2 and 3 right
Yeah.
now and see how many DMs I get
Should be 2 and
telling
3.
me to blow my brains out because
Yeah.
I'm a stupid Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison is my guy though. I'm excited to see what he can do I think this is going to be big for his development. That sounds dumb, but now that JJ's not going to get all the targets, like, what? He's the next man up, right? It's not KJ Osborne.
Well, I mean, technically, KJ's been receiver number 2 all year, which I think is stupid, as so. But, dude, KJ can't even – he'll catch a ball and he'll run into traffic. He won't even run to the open field last. JJ,
nice guy.
He's super nice guy, and wasn't he the one who saved a person from a burning car?
Yeah, great
Very
guy,
good dude.
Even better human than a football player.
Yeah, 100%. But Jordan
better.
Addison, I think, has proven himself to be a more explosive player, and he should be wide receiver 1 going forward.
Not as great of a human for breaking the law, so at least
Nope. Hey, he
KJ
can go fast.
has that over him.
We know that.
Yeah.
I will say if you look at the stretch of a schedule, and if you point at a few games where if we needed to play without JJ and could do the best, it would be this stretch beyond San Francisco, because we can beat Chicago without Justin Jefferson.
You guys
realistically, but I have a feeling we're probably going to lose,
You
even if
think-
we had Justin Jefferson.
You guys think the game against Michigan was bad? 49ers against the Vikings might get into the triple digits.
It is going to be a TCU Georgia.
Let's not even talk. Hey, the nice thing is that's going to be a Monday Night Football game, and if the Vikings suck as much as they currently do, at
least it'll be at home.
It'll be cheap, dude.
I cannot wait, though, for us to lose to the 49ers by 30 points. They're going to put up 60. Brock Purdy's going to have 5 touchdowns. And then the conversation is going to be about how Kirk sucks in primetime.
Yeah.
He's going to
happen.
get sacked 15 times. Literally be JJ lists.
KJ's going to drop the ball 6 times. Hawkinson will drop the ball 9. There'll be 4 fumbles by everyone but Kirk. It's going to be like
Kirk sucks.
Primetime Kirk stat graphic by fucking PFF.
You can't win in prime time.
By PFF the next morning, Mike Florio.
Yeah, can't win in prime time, guys. Even
I'm so excited.
Dude, I want us all to go there, and I want to lose by 30, and I want to see Jake leaving the stadium wearing Kirk Cousins like head to toe with the helmet and everything gear as we lost by 30.
When is that? When is that game?
That's 2 weeks from now on Monday.
We should go to that.
I'll be in Austin
so
for
numb
work.
to the pain.
Are you going to embrace the pain?
I'm numb to it.
So you're numb to it. Yeah, I'd say embrace it.
Cam,
at
if
this
the
point.
Vikings make the playoffs, will you shave your mullet?
There's nothing that'll make that happen.
What if someone had a gun to your dad's head?
Yeah, probably.
he just said nothing.
You go
So you
bald.
lied. So you lied. So you lied.
Well,
Liar.
I didn't know you were getting all
Heathen.
aggressive with me.
Well, no. I mean, you said you'd do anything. No one could do anything.
I'd do anything.
What about a gun to your head?
Yeah.
I hate myself now.
I'm gonna. You're gonna have to bury me with this mullet because I'm not shaving it. I'd rather die than shave this mullet.
I'm going down with Mullet Mafia.
Yeah.
mullet man?
All right. Any other news in sports? The Minnesota Wild, they start this week. Thank God.
This Thursday, we will all be there, allegedly. But, yeah, if you see us, say hi. Really, the only big news of the Wild is someone new is their assistant captain.
Mr. Kirill Kaprizov.
Yeah.
Kirill Kaprizov,
Jake,
yes.
You didn't like it, though? You didn't like the pick? He hasn't done anything for the state, right? By the way, there's so many people who think you're serious that it's so funny.
I love it.
Jake didn't like it because he stands with Ukraine.
Yeah.
True,
I
good point.
almost honestly put that
You wanted
in the
to be
video,
on
but
the,
I'm
you
like,
wanted
I
to
don't
be on
want
the,
to do that
you wanted to
shit.
be on the right side of history.
Why didn't you put it in the video?
Yeah, I don't know. I should have, honestly. I don't know if it was a little controversial. Next time I might do something with that. But no, it's funny because on my Twitter, I think what I did on purpose, I put out the video and then immediately after that retweeted the post of them giving the A to Kaprizov, and I said, I love this.
Yep.
Completely agree with
Classic
it.
journalist.
And classic journalism. And like on Instagram, I think there's more comments coming in on it, and it's hilarious. Like there's people that literally give a serious take. I agree. Blah blah blah. Jonas Brodin should have got it, or someone says it blows my mind they didn't give it to Jesper Wallstedt.
That was a bit.
That's a bit.
That's definitely.
But there was
maybe it's a bit.
Someone said he's not a vocal leader at all. He's a great skill player, but like I said, not a vocal leader just yet. And that's totally fine. So
Eric
people take a
speaks
bit.
better English.
Guess
that
what?
racist?
Jared Spurgeon is not a vocal leader. He's not going to be in the locker room hyping guys up with his voice. He's going to lead by his play on the ice.
Jared Spurgeon might
Exactly.
be the quietest player on the team.
Yes. Yeah. So if talking about vocal leaders, you don't need one if you're that good on the ice.
It's all about
Exactly.
Well, Zuch and I were talking about it, and for everyone who disagrees with it legitimately, not like you, Jake, when you're just trolling people, like Kaprizov is a leader in the way he works, how good he is, how hard he tries, how much he cares. It's not always just about giving a good speech and then going out there and going -4. Like that's like Kirill cares. He shows up and he loves hockey. That's
He's a great sport, but some of these comments, someone says, I'm assuming it's a joke since he is mispronouncing his name. Then someone replies to that, he's pretending to be Kirk Cousins. Yes, he's joking, even though I'm not. And then someone responds to that thread, not a joke. Just that's it.
The human race summed up in one thread, right?
Crack don't smoke itself. Someone comments that.
True. We know that there's people smoking crack below the studio right now. We're in St. Paul.
That's true.
By the way.
They're not quiet about it either.
No, they're not. We can find crack if we want to.
Stop. The window's open. They're about to blast a gold.
God,
They're about to blast a gold RPG through our fucking
I was gonna say, what were they gonna blast up here?
A gold RPG.
Through a crack pipe?
It was very hard to get through that sentence. It's been a long night.
It has been.
It has been a long night. But yeah, the Wild are back. Kaprizov got the A. I got to say though, I'm more confident going into the beginning of this season because I don't think they could start worse than they started last year.
Yeah, 0-3 last
Knock
year.
on wood, though. You never know. You really
Well,
look at the Vikings. I don't
yeah.
think anyone saw this coming.
Not that the Wild just started 0-4. They literally lost those games like 7-1.
Yeah.
That was bad.
The one against
Hopefully-
Colorado was the worst by far. It was so bad to the point where Russo was messaging me, asking me if I could ask Bill what the hell he's going to do with the goalie situation because he wouldn't answer him. I'm like, I'm just going to safely assume no one is safe to ask him that question, so I think I'm just going to avoid that conversation.
Smart.
But fuck, it always ends up working out, though. So even if they do start terrible, they'll course correct, and then they'll lose a ton more games after Christmas break, and then they'll course correct again, and they'll just repeat this until we lose in the first round of the playoffs. So
Yeah. And then,
Playoffs.
one last thing I want to say kind of around the Minnesota Wild is this. We're going to be live on KFAN Saturday before the Wild pregame and the Wild game talking probably about the Minnesota Wild, so make sure to tune in.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I was thinking Timberwolves.
Oh, the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
the puppies.
I was actually thinking about the Minnesota Swarm.
There we go.
The
They're
Swarm.
rising.
The rocker.
Yes, we need to bring back.
Swarm was so much
Arena
fun. We
football
need
game.
another lacrosse team here.
I just don't think we do.
Oh, dude,
Oh.
have you not? Did you not go to those games? Those were so much
No, I
fun.
just wanted to
Jake,
argue.
you went to a Swarm game, right?
I
I never went to a Swarm game.
Really? They
but
were a
I'd seen
blast.
highlights and they looked fantastic.
They literally
I-
kept the hockey rink as is. They put turf on the ice,
Vegas
and they
wasn't-
literally check into the boards and have fights and shit
It
like
looked
that.
it looked electric.
I'm too busy having a seizure looking at the computer right now because the Vegas Golden Knights intro thing is going on.
Yeah,
right
they
behind
had-
Jake's head.
It's
They had their Stanley
it's
Cup,
very
ceremony.
Vegas-esque.
Yeah.
But all right, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll get into our interview with Emma Carpenter.
We are in the heat of sports season, MLB, now NHL is starting up, NFL. Well, I want to tell you about a way that you can get into the action today. So the easiest way to get into some action on some sports is the Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. So just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your Pick'em entry, get every pick right, and take home some cold, hard cash. This is some real money. It's not like e-credits or anything like that. You can bring this shit to the bank legitimately. So if you use the code 10K10K, and you can get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. So once again, that's code 10K10K on the Underdog app, or go to www.underdogfantasy.com or click the link below to get your first deposit doubled on Underdog today.
All right, folks, welcome back to It's a Bit. We got a special guest with us, the first guest in the St. Paul studio. By the way, I think that's big. That's bigger than I think a lot of people are gonna realize that this is.
That's bigger than your any of awards or anything you won in your golf career.
Yeah, throw this in your resume.
Yeah, throw it into trophy case. I don't know. We don't have a trophy for you, but
This is going at the top of my resume.
Yeah.
Bolded, underlined, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's an honor. Actually, though, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'm very flattered.
Yeah.
Very flattered. Excited to be here. Thanks
Well,
for having me.
Yeah.
we got Emma Carpenter, the best golfer to ever be on the show, golfer for the University of Minnesota women's team, and she's gotten into announcing with the Big Ten. She's a singer. Your accolades do go actually quite far. Like, you have your own clothing line. We're going to get into a lot of it, but I'd say it's very impressive how much stuff you got going on as someone who's still in college.
Thank you so much. That's really, really nice of you. Definitely have stayed busy for sure, especially over the last couple of years. It was when I really started doing stuff outside of golf and school. So stayed really busy and just kind of said no to nothing, said yes to everything, and I'm kind of glad I did. I'm tired a lot, but wouldn't
Yeah.
change anything for sure.
well, you're known as a golfer, I think, probably first and foremost, but obviously getting more well known in other stuff you're doing. But like, why golf? Why have you dedicated yourself to one of the most frustrating sports of all time?
That is such a fair question. Wow, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a while too since somebody asked me why golf, because now golf is just such a big part of my life and my identity and everything that I do with work. But gosh, golf, I started when I was like 12 years old. Before I was really into volleyball, really into soccer. I've been playing soccer forever. Played soccer like my whole life, and then was super into singing and musical theater. I was like a really, really big theater nerd. Still am, but not in any shows anymore. But so started playing golf, and then story kind of goes, I enjoyed it pretty quickly, and just had a little bit of talent. People told me I had a little bit of talent, and decided to quit my other sports and just kind of see how good I could get while still pursuing like my music and the stuff I was doing at the same time. So then, I just decided to just dive right in, give it my all, and started showing up to colleges, knocking on the door. They're like, "Who are you?" Like, never heard of you in my life. And I'm like, "Oh, but can you show me around a little bit?" And just, so yeah, then college recruiting happened pretty quickly. Women's golf recruits very early. I committed to play for the U summer after my sophomore year of high school.
Wow. How old were you then?
So I would have been 15.
So you were just playing golf for 3 years before you got offered a scholarship.
I might have just turned. No, I was 15. Yes. So so
that's crazy.
But I mean, I'm very lucky that I had as good parents as I do. I got unbelievable parents who like really helped me so much. Part of the reason why I say, like, whenever I give advice to kids who are just getting into golf, or I'm talking to their parents, if anybody wants any advice, I always say just compete as much as you can. That's kind of what I did. Right when I decided I wanted to play golf, my parents threw me in like a million junior golf tournaments, which was like, and they drove me to them. They, paid for my entry fee. Like, they are the best. But because of that, just I shot, 130, and then I shot 110, and then I shot 100, and then I shot 90, and then I shot 85, and, just kind of the more I competed, the better I got quickly. So
yeah, no, that's funny that you say like you played all those other sports, but then you went with golf. That happened to me in high school, except it wasn't by choice. It was by default because I got cut from all the other sports. So, and then I'm like the first guy to be like, yeah, it's a lifelong sport. You can build relationships. I've decided to retire from basketball because, golf just makes more sense for my future. So
there's a whole press conference.
Golf is a really, really good sport. And, another answer to your question of why golf would just be how much I fell in love with it right away. It's really, really, really challenging. It is. I mean, all sports are really challenging, but this sport beats you up for sure. And, it's a really humbling sport, really rewarding sport. That's something that's really cool about some of these other team sports. In golf, like, at the end of the round, you got no one to blame but yourself, and you got no one to really give credit to but yourself. So I just loved the sport, loved everything about it, and kind of the challenge of it, but also the rewardingness. I don't think that's a word, but how rewarding it was as well. So
yeah, 100%. Obviously, golf is probably the most frustrating game out there. Do you ever get really frustrated on the course? Have you thrown some clubs in your day, or what?
So I don't know if you guys know this. I actually did break a club.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, but it wasn't on purpose. I wish it had been on purpose because I still had to pay like the penalty of playing the rest of the round with a club.
It, yeah.
No, my cart tipped over, shaft broke.
Oh, damn.
Driver shaft.
that was like, did you see? I think it was on the
LPGA.
Yeah, they lifted the rope up and it snapped her driver.
On the way to the playoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was on the way, and she lost the playoff, right?
Yeah,
that's tough.
It was actually so funny too. Like, everyone's like, "Wow, those greenskeepers and the grounds crew, like, they're doing a really good job." Someone applaud them. The stakes are in there. They're in there far enough, and they're strong enough to break someone's shaft.
We haven't seen a rope beat a golfer like that since Bryson DeChambeau a couple years ago when it assaulted him in the first degree.
Poor guy.
I was going to say, maybe it does have the power to break a club if it can take down a grown man like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bryson is a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
That was an unfortunate thing that happened for sure. I definitely felt bad for him that, it's hard when you're a pro athlete and you're in the spotlight like that and whatever. I'm pretty sure he was frustrated that, like, it happened in general, and that's why he reacted that way. just kind of trying to stick up for the guy.
Yeah, no, and
he just didn't make golfers look good, though. I mean, he just made them look so not tough.
Yeah.
Especially Bryson. He's this big, tough-looking guy
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
can drive the
Persona,
ball
like,
a mile.
Yeah.
and then gets hit by a rope, and then he's
Do you,
down
you
for the
know?
count.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like, but no, it wasn't a
Yikes.
good look. But like, I mean, we obviously don't know him, but he definitely, took a lot on the internets.
as a Bryson stan, do you think he should have made the Ryder Cup team?
I do. I think that he's been playing really, really well lately. He got off to a pretty cold start this season, but then, shot a 58, won the Live Tour event not too long ago. Like, he's playing awesome. And it was kind of weird. But then, European team, they decided to go no Live players, but then they ended up prevailing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The whole Live stuff is so it's so controversial. And like, I get asked my opinion about it a lot, but I feel like it's just really hard. There's just like so many moving parts and so many factors to it. It's like, how can you really understand it? Especially, it's different for guys who are just turning professional, guys who have been professional forever, had so much success already. Like, it's not black and white, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to give an opinion.
What are your thoughts just on the sale overall? Do you have any?
The merger?
The merger, sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, apparently it's like not even set in stone, like what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's so up in the air. Everything is moving around. When the merger was announced, I remember I was on the phone with my boss with my podcast, and he was like, yeah, we got to get tweets out. We got to get stuff out like immediately because literally nobody knew this was happening.
Yeah, it was so out
The
of left
players
field.
found out on Twitter
Yep.
that
Yeah.
morning,
No,
which
yeah,
was
Bryson-
insane.
So I had Bryson on my podcast, and that's part of the reason why I always vouch for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a really, really good guy. But I actually messaged him and was like, "Did you know about this?" And he's like, "Nope."
Yeah, crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy, so crazy.
Yeah,
I do
Bryson,
like that, though. I think that they're going to work the DP World Tour into it. I feel like that tour doesn't get enough love, and you saw how some of those guys played in the Ryder Cup from that tour, and it's like, and sometimes like you watch the Scottish Open, you're like, I'm kind of missing out on this tour, even though it's on at like 4 a.m. every day.
Right.
I love how the Golf Channel will be like, all right, we don't have any programming in the morning, so from 4 a.m. to noon, we're going to just show 5 hours of DP World Tour coverage.
Right.
But now those guys, if there's like one World Tour, everyone's under the same roof. Like, that's the way.
Well, one of the weirdest things about it is it completely defeated the purpose of what the whole Live Tour, what a lot of people said was great about the Live Tour. It gives more opportunities and this and that. And now all of a sudden it's going to be completely merged. So it does the exact opposite of that. Like,
Right.
So, yeah.
The
I don't
Saudis
know.
they just wanted their seat at,
Yeah.
at the table.
They got it.
This was
So
their
it worked.
way in.
They-
It was
Yeah.
it was a hell of a stunt. That was probably a lot of work for
Well, 'cause
people to
It was years in the making.
Yeah.
Like
create the
years
Live
and
Tour,
years.
but this was a plan by what's his name?
like
Al
the
Saf-
actual
guy who
Saudi
runs
guy,
the P-
Al Safir
PIF.
something. I don't.
He's
wanna
also a
butcher it.
member at Augusta now. What a wild
Yeah.
demand. He's like,
That is
I need to play at
crazy.
Augusta, and they're like, okay.
He went from Greg Norman literally
Yeah.
like being Darth Vader to the PGA to now they're just together like they're in peace. It's weird.
Very weird.
Money talks though.
Who would have thought, though,
Right.
of all sports, that golf would be like the one to have worldwide implications? Forever, I feel like golf was like the quietest sport in the news, and compared to like the NFL, the NBA, there was always more going on. But then it was suddenly like, oh, now golf is part of political sports washing.
Right. Well, and it all kind of like ties back to the idea of like in different sports and different leagues, like how much does the player need the league and how much does the league need the player?
Yeah.
Like it's just like so different with every sport. With every sport, it can get so political. Totally, especially like with golf and all the money involved and like the way that. One of the things that I was putting out there when Live was kind of first happening, and I did a couple podcasts with some guys who were like decided to forgo another year at college and go join the Live Tour and making millions. And it's like, if you're making a salary when all these other guys on the PGA Tour are grinding, like you miss a cut, you're making nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bummer. Tennis is like that, but all these other sports, like guys have contracts. Like, doesn't matter how bad you play.
Look
like,
at
you're
Rogers.
fine.
My flashlight's on. How old am I?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
It's like
my
never-
God.
Rogers is like just chilling on. I mean, I know he did not choose to get injured, but he's
Right.
making how much money a year, and he's just chilling.
Sitting
Right.
at home.
He's well now he was on the sideline a couple weeks ago on crutches, just walking around.
Already
probably-
throwing footballs.
Yeah.
He's coming
Yeah.
back week 9.
He's
Oh
like,
my
I'm coming
God,
back,
yeah.
boys. We're doing it, Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
But
yeah, no, I think that the whole live stuff is, well, look, you got to think of like Rory McIlroy, like the guy that was standing up for like, no, I'm staying here. And
I mean, they made that guy talk about 9/11. Like,
I know.
And then they just merged without even telling him. It's just wild. I think maybe he was one of the only people who had to know ahead of time, but whether he says it publicly or not, I don't know. But
I guess from what I've heard with like my boss and people I work with, apparently there was like a list of like 5 or less people who knew about it, like individual people who
so
knew about
weird.
it, like crazy.
It's such a big deal. The fact that you'd be able to keep it that quiet is mind blowing.
Yeah,
I know,
well,
it's one
and
of the-
that's time in the making. That's like a lot of time that you put into making a decision like that. It just, I felt like most of all, a lot of people felt too like it betrayed the PGA Tour players who were like so loyal to the PGA Tour and declined the accepting all that money.
who turned down the most? I know Tiger almost turned down $1 billion, but I think like Zalatoris, Rory turned down 300, I think, or maybe it had to be more.
That's
maybe
generational
500.
money, man. That's crazy.
I think Zalatoris turned down like $150 million, and he wasn't even playing this year. Like, yeah, I feel like they almost have to pay those guys that.
Right.
That was what a lot of people were saying.
as
Like,
like
so
a
these
sorry.
guys get paid now. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Well, there was a couple guys that were trying to turn it like, yeah, this isn't about the money. I'm going to try to do something new.
To
and blah,
grow
blah,
the
blah.
game globally.
Grow the game globally. And then you have Dustin Johnson. I'm going to be honest with you. It's less time, more money.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I
He got,
respect
like,
that
mad
way
props
more.
for it. Like,
it's
mad
well,
props.
He's being
Yeah,
honest.
just be
I mean,
honest.
just be like, not these guys are like, I'm trying to grow the game and just looking for a new opportunity, like you're some damn politician. Like you're getting offered $500 $1 million. Go play golf.
It's not about the
times a year.
500 mil.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved how much they tried to make live though, like Formula One or European sports.
Yeah.
They did the podium. I remember they did the podiums at the end of each tournament. I think they still do it, and it was like Patrick Reed like spraying someone else with a bottle and then drinking out of it, and there was an old woman on Twitter who responded under it and was like, "Oh my God, is he drunk now?" ? And I'm like, it's just a celebration. Like there's just a whole generation of people who don't understand some of this like golf but louder, and it was just hilarious to see go down.
Yeah. Well, and gosh, golf kind of like similar sports have evolved a lot in like what they look like and the fan base and the way you celebrate, the way you cheer at events, things like that. Golf has been pretty traditional. The only thing that's really changed about golf is like equipment and attire. Like the guys who, what they used to wear on the course versus what they wear now. So, I mean, besides like the waste management, everything in the PGA Tour is pretty traditional, the way it's always been. So, I know like in a lot of the work that I've done with the 3M Open, talked about like, what can we do to bring in younger people, bring in college kids to this event? Like, it's not going to be the waste management. Nothing is ever going to be quite like the waste management, but it's like, how is golf changing? And then with the whole live tour and everything that they were doing, it was just like a whole new concept, new idea.
Well, I was going to say the 3M Open definitely they're trying to make it a little bit more appealing to the young folks because they have that par 3 hole 12 where
2-for-1 beers.
2-for-1 beers.
So they've been doing that since it was a senior PGA Tour event. I remember like going to that in college and allegedly using a fake ID and just getting 2-for-1 beers on 17. But the problem is they moved. 17 was like too easy, right?
Yeah.
So it was like you're just drinking for free all day, and then they moved it to 13, and it's like okay.
Little
Now you
tougher.
see like one. They put the pin in the back right, and maybe like one person birdies it all day.
Yeah.
But there are people. I mean, we were camping.
Maybe
on that
do it
hole
on every.
last year.
Maybe do that on every hole.
Yeah,
That's
why
one way to
not?
get some younger
Yeah.
people.
Little more revenue. That might just create.
Might need to
some
double
sort of
up on
mob.
security.
Yeah.
And they're gonna literally need to shut that tournament down for a couple hours. People keep getting birdies on holes. Well, because we saw like last year where I think it happened 2 times in a row, and I thought people were going to get trampled, and that whole concession stand was going to burn down because you saw people running
sprint there. Yeah,
they're
Crazy.
sprinting. So I'm surprised this haven't like resulted in like people getting trampled and injuries, like it's some sort of mosh pit or something like that. But
Right.
it's appealing though. It's they're trying to do something. It's fun.
I mean, we were at the Stilly Party Deck.
Yes.
And like, I got a couple tickets for friends, and they were there all day. And they
Yeah.
were like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, the
like,
party
this is
tent was
so
awesome.
fun.
We did that too.
Yeah.
We
You're
were
like,
just
yeah,
all
we were there
day.
too.
So much fun.
That was
Took a
a
walk.
good time.
Watch
Yeah.
some guys. Watch Joel Damon.
Oh,
My friend's
yeah.
got a
Oh,
huge,
yeah.
huge
Yep.
crush on Joel Damon
Yep.
now.
Oh, really?
Joel Damon's a good dude. I like
Yeah.
him.
He's fun to watch. Yeah, he's
Netflix
awesome.
hero. We
After Full Swing, everyone was loving
Absolutely.
him.
You
Yeah.
had to. Yeah.
we were wearing the caddy suits on Saturday.
It was so fucking hot.
It was
Saturday.
terrible, but we would just go up to players and like offer them advice, and we'd get them to start laughing. So like
That's a good bit.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like I was like, I think we like Aaron Rye walked by, and I'm like, hey Aaron, if you need a backup tomorrow, let me know. And he like
Lost
was like
it.
super serious and just had to do this and start dying, like going up
Well,
the hill to
That's
17.
so good.
They hear someone talking, they look over and they just see a guy in a caddy suit.
A drunk guy in a caddy suit.
Drunk guy in a caddy
With a
suit.
handlebar mustache.
Oh yeah, in my case, a handlebar mustache. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? But it adds to the game. We're trying to add to it.
Trying to
I guess.
grow the game.
We're trying to grow
Trying
it
to grow the game.
by wearing caddy suits, Masters caddy suits, and doing fun stuff. But
Yeah.
it's super fun.
We came up with a little game we'd like you to play. It's called Who Would You Rather Be a Scramble Partner With? And I think we're just going to go around the room. We're going to give you 2 names and have you choose the person you'd rather have a scramble partner with, okay?
All right.
You got
Sounds
it?
good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So the first option,
Ridiculous ones on here.
Kirk Cousins or Adam Thielen?
Dude, that is such a good one. I actually have met Adam Thielen and interviewed Adam Thielen. But so my boyfriend works for the Vikings and equipment, and he talks all the time about how Kirk is like the
Nicest
coolest guy.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'm gonna ask him afterwards if this is okay to say on the podcast. But apparently, Kirk said that his guilty pleasure is like he loves watching like girly movies. And like he's like, yeah, it was super embarrassing. Like the flight attendant walked up when we were flying to Seattle, and I was watching A Cinderella Story.
I feel like that's
so
so
Kirk
Kirk, though.
Cousins.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's nothing that's
And then-
out of the ordinary for him.
And my boyfriend, he goes, that's our QB, one of the best QBs in the league. The night before a game, watching
Yep.
a Cinderella
The
story
Cinderella
on the
story.
plane.
Maybe
Like,
that's his.
And then I was like, how cool is he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and also I would think. I don't know if you've picked anyone yet, but Kirk Cousins does have a musical theater background. You do as well.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
Thielen's an absolute stick,
But
though.
yeah,
I think
he's-
he's
Yeah,
like,
Thielen's
he's
great.
He's a
Great
good
golf.
player, and he's like such a great guy, dude. That's
Plus
a,
one or plus
That's a
two.
freaking coin toss. Since I've already met Adam, I already know he's awesome. I would like to enjoy to spend some time with Kirk Cousins and see what his game is like, also. So
Yeah.
I'd say Kirk.
Okay.
I'm taking
Awesome.
Kirk.
That's a
Love
good
it.
analysis.
He actually, just like you, he's been on the show. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been. Yep, he's his wife.
Heck yeah.
I was gonna say he probably wouldn't care if you admitted
I
that.
outed him for
'Cause-
watching a Cinderella
because
story on
his
the plane.
wife sent me like 100 embarrassing things to bring up to him. So if anything, Julie probably loves it more than anyone. If you brought that up,
That's hilarious. My friend's birthday was sometime this summer, and she FaceTimes Trevor, my boyfriend. She FaceTimes Trevor, and we're just like sitting at a bar, and it's her birthday, and he's like happens to be by Kirk Cousins, and he's like, "What's up? Like, happy birthday!" And the rest of the day, she's like, "I mean, Kirk Cousins wished me happy birthday personally."
so
so
that's awesome.
that's great. He
Kirk.
just fits right in. Like when he was at the Twins game last week, he was like, "Yeah, I bought lower level tickets, like did
Last
this,
second.
did that, yeah," and then he literally probably left early so he didn't have to deal with traffic. He's
I know.
like just
Normal
such a
dude.
wholesome dude.
Normal
Like,
dude.
Such a normal dude. I was at the game on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was super fun.
yeah.
Wait,
Super fun.
oh yeah, the Vikings game. I was gonna say like the Twins game. They were playing in Houston, but the Vikings game. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that was
tough.
shit show. Whatever. That's another conversation.
That
but-
is another conversation. But sorry, I'm going off on tangents when
You're
you're trying to ask
good.
me
You're
questions.
good.
You're good.
Justin Timberlake or Taylor Swift? Timberlake's a stick too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
Taylor
is.
Swift. We don't
Taylor
know,
Swift.
but she's Taylor Swift.
I got Justin Timberlake's autograph at the Ryder Cup practice round years ago
Nice.
in Medina, forever ago. But considering the timeliness, I'm gonna go with Taylor Swift. What's going on?
That's a
right
good
now.
one though. But
Yeah.
and all you have to do is take like one picture with her and just prove that you're friends, and then your brand shoots up like
Oh, yeah.
She is really cool. Have you seen her documentary, Miss Americana?
I have not. No.
It's real. She's really cool.
It's worth
Like,
watching?
I would love to be her friend. I'd really
Yeah.
like to be her friend.
I was gonna say. I mean, I would say she's pretty cool. She's getting a lot of the attention now with the NFL.
No
so.
kidding. Can you believe? Can you believe she put Travis Kelce on the
Yeah,
map?
I know, right?
I know,
This
right?
was
Never
all
heard
rigged,
of him.
though.
Never heard of him before.
Yeah, it's all part of the script.
I loved someone was like, yeah, there's rumors going around that Taylor's going to break up with Travis. She said, quote unquote, his run offensive blocking is not great,
Yeah.
and he needs to improve his routes. Like, I'm going to find a man who can run better routes.
Yeah.
Like,
So now she's gonna bounce around the NFL and keep dating different.
she's going to
NFL
date
players until
who at the Vikings, Johnny Munt.
yeah, Johnny Munt.
One
end
reception,
breed.
1 yard, 1 touchdown, the ultimate stat line, 100%.
Yep.
1 for 1, 1-1-1-1.
Johnny Munt.
Johnny Munt.
Did you pick? Did you pick one? there?
Taylor.
She did.
Taylor,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. All right. So the next one: Tom Brady or Steph Curry?
Dude, these are so good.
It's tough.
See, again, like, I feel like I want to pick Tom just to, like, say I played with Tom, but then also, like, I feel like I would really enjoy myself playing with Steph.
I feel like they're both great golfers,
I know.
too. Yeah,
they both like
are.
sunk hole-in-ones like in the last couple
Steph
years.
is, like, dang
Legit,
good.
yeah.
He's dang good. I think
good.
Tom's good, but Steph's, like, really good.
Yeah, because Tom played in the match a couple years ago.
Do I have, like, a lot of money on the line? That's a question I didn't even ask.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is this Jake? You made this up. Is this a competitive scramble or like a let's just scramble?
Yeah,
kind
is
of
it like
thing?
a let's hang out or like I need you to pull through?
Yeah.
Let's just.
I think we've been doing the other ones on Let's Hang Out, haven't we?
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
it's like more of the hangout vibe, more of the celebrity-esque scramble, just focus more on the entertainment
It's
of
like
it.
a Happy Gilmore Bob Barker.
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
scenario.
Price is
Okay.
wrong.
Hopefully you
bitch.
don't get knocked
Yes.
out at the end of it. But
I was gonna say that stakes were so high in that one.
Yeah. Don't get in a fight now with any of these.
Yeah, I would have been Bob too. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together, man.
Dude, this guy sucks.
I hate that Bob Barker.
I loved how
The next day,
It's
so
beautiful.
when Bob Barker died, like people posted more about that than they did about him.
Price is Right.
His
The Price
like
is
his
Right.
career on
I know.
TV for decades. It was more
That's
like,
insane.
oh, when you beat up Adam Sandler in that movie, like
beat up
that
Happy
was
Gilmore.
like your top tier moment.
when people like that make random appearances in movies and they're like really good, it just lives for so long. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Sitting at Subway. I hate that Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. That's what he's known for, and he's not known for Price is Right amongst our generation. It's Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What he did in 1996.
You just have the date.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go Steph Curry.
All right.
Okay,
Steph
solid
Curry,
choice.
yeah.
Stephen Curry.
Plus, if I feel like if that was his reaction to a hole in one, like if he made a putt, he's gonna just bring up the energy, right?
Oh,
He's gonna
yeah.
bring the
He'll be
vibes.
electric. Yeah, just to be a teammate with.
It would be so electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, we got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Vin Diesel.
They're the same person though.
I was gonna say that's a
Family.
toss up again.
They're both family. They're both family.
I'm gonna go with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You got to go with The Rock.
Yeah.
Guess
The
you don't
Rock
care
for
about
sure.
family though.
The Rock has got to be one of those guys who has a god awful swing, but when he gets a hold of
Yeah.
it, like it
Oh,
goes
it's
far.
forever.
He just seems like that
Yeah.
guy that maybe the mid-range or short game or putting, maybe it's not the best.
But Vin Diesel feels the same way.
yeah,
He could
So
be in the
that-
same category.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got to pick who you think would be the better one to, I guess, hang out with. I
Yeah.
guess.
One time, this is my one memory of Vin Diesel is when I was like 7. We were at a hotel in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. One of the nice. I can't even remember which hotel it was, and apparently Vin Diesel was there and like beat some dude up at this. Like it was like Christmas in Texas with like my whole family and some of my siblings who were like 14, like snuck down to the party or something, and Vin Diesel was just like going on a guy.
Nice.
I was like, no way, never forgot it.
I would
So,
rather see that.
Maybe he'd be Bob Barker in the scramble.
I would rather get to witness Vin Diesel beating another man up than anything else for Christmas.
Really?
That would be like the best gift ever.
That'd be pretty cool. I didn't get to see it. I just heard about
That's
it.
hilarious. That means he's like what he is in the movies.
Exactly.
Like
Was
you
he
are
beating
the
up-
guy.
was beating up
Yeah,
Jason
he's
Statham.
that guy.
Yeah. Right.
Well, Vin Diesel has a clause in his like Fast and Furious contract that says that he can't lose a fight on film. He's not allowed to lose a fight
Well,
in the movie
sounds like he
franchise.
clearly can't lose one in real life anyway.
Yes.
So like, might as well just give it to him.
Exactly.
No way.
It's kind of
I-
tough.
Diesel.
No
That's
way.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't know
That is weird.
Yeah, look it up. It's really well
Those
known.
stories are so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you get everyone
It's
knows
like a girl
that.
saying
Yeah.
it's like she won't go nude. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
can't lose a
yeah.
fight.
That's Guy's version of it.
Yeah, that's
like
the
no one else is
stipulation.
allowed to
You
kick
don't.
my
You can't lose
ass.
your dignity. You can't lose your dignity.
The guy's like, I don't care if I go nude, but I'm not losing a fucking fight. Yeah. But what you guys know, like no one. I found out about this later, but you know the movie Iron Giant,
Yeah.
which is a fantastic movie. He's the voice of the Iron
Yes,
Giant.
I did know that.
I didn't
yes.
find that out till like 9 or 10, but I've been watching that since it came out in like 1999.
That's
but-
news to me.
Yeah, he was the voice of Iron Giant. Didn't have a lot of dialogue, but he's like, what does he say? Home and all that stuff. But like, it was Vin Diesel. I'm like, no fucking way. Like,
He always sounds like he needs to clear his throat.
I know,
Yes.
yeah, I know. But he's a great
know what I
fucking
mean now?
guy.
No,
yeah,
I actually do. Yeah.
He's always like,
family. I'm gonna fuck. And then he was in the Pacifier.
Yes,
Remember
that was a
movie?
great movie.
That was a great
growing up.
movie.
Have you ever watched
That's-
that?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
That was one of our road trip like on
Yes.
DVD movies
Yeah.
that we threw in on the DVD player.
It's like that.
He's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
babysitter, like
Yeah.
for a family, and then
You
he
don't-
has
you
to
never
do all
even
this
heard of it?
spy shit.
No.
yeah, well, he's being a babysitter.
So he's a Navy SEAL, but
Yep.
then like some guy who I don't even know.
It's like, have
I
you ever
can't give you
seen-
like a quick synopsis.
No,
I mean, have you ever
it's
seen
a complicated movie.
It's complicated. It's
like a family movie. It's
Yeah.
really
Well,
complicated.
It is, but like, have you seen Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, okay, it's like
it's
it's
similar
like a similar
vibes.
concept.
It's
but
a tough
except
guy
teacher-
doing a soft job.
yeah,
Exactly.
former or something. Yeah,
It's
tough
like
guy.
He fell in
Yes.
love with the family.
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
did.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger fell in love with the kids and teaching and stuff like that.
Wow.
I kind of said that
So
a little
wholesome.
wrong.
Yeah, that
okay.
sounded
He
pet.
fell
He
in love
fell
with
in love with the
children?
job and
Interesting.
the environment of
Was it
being a
Steve
kindergarten
Hansen?
teacher.
Wow.
Steve Hanson's gonna walk.
Chris
in,
Hansen.
Chris
Chris
Hanson's gonna
Hansen.
walk in this room and be like,
Yeah.
Jake, let's go out in the hallway.
Yeah,
for a
take a
second."
seat over
Let's
here.
have a quick talk.
What do you
I
mean
have
by
a take
that?
seat, and he's gonna like play the recording of the podcast. Yeah, I have it on tape right here. You can't deny it. No, okay. No,
Oh,
but we
shit.
digress.
This one's actually tough. I think this one would be the toughest one to answer. John Daly or Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, for sure. I think
You have to.
there is a part of me though. Yeah, it has to be Tiger
You
Woods.
Yeah.
you would choose John Daly over Tiger Woods.
I wouldn't, but like
The story
damn,
would be awesome.
I would hate
though.
to miss.
I guess
Cam
both
would?
stories would be great. Yeah, I know.
Cam
I
would
don't
choose
know.
John Daly over Tiger Woods.
No, would you, Cam? Oh, damn.
Well, he's
No
a look
way.
at him.
But look
Well,
at
I
it.
mean,
But
look
look
at
at him.
Not just his hair. Look at his sweatshirt. This is a derby sweatshirt.
Honestly, you look like, because I've seen the son.
You look like
you'd
more
be in the family.
Yeah, you could. You could be like a distant cousin.
His son, yeah, JD too.
Yeah.
His cousin is
Sponsored by Hooters.
yeah,
he is,
Yeah.
literally.
NIL deal.
Yeah,
Legitimate.
posted with the ladies. Like, been in my family for so long.
Yeah, my dad has a corner booth in Russellville, Arkansas. That's where I was born, in that corner booth of Hooters.
I was conceived and born in that corner booth.
I always wonder if you were allowed to get absolutely fucked up on the golf course, do you think John Daly would be like a 4-time Masters winner at this point? Like, would he have passed He might have passed Tiger Woods. I know he did drink on the golf course quite a bit, but if he was openly allowed to do it, I wonder if he would have won more.
It's actually a really good question.
It's time we start the conversation around
It's a
that.
fair question.
Observation. Yeah, I mean,
Like, you know what? If they're talking about trying to make the 3M more cool, allow golfers to just get trashed on the golf course. I know Kevin Kisner would be all over that. He might actually correct his game if he had just got absolutely blitzed before he played.
Yeah, that's probably gonna have to come from the PGA Tour before
Yeah.
the. It's gonna have to come from a lot higher than the
Yeah.
3M Open.
it's going to come from the Saudis.
The Saudis might be
They
down
might
for
be.
that.
That
though.
might be a stipulation.
Golf, but
Imagine.
louder.
Yeah.
Literally louder.
Imagine, wow, that's a wild concept.
Yeah.
Well,
That-
they're-
dude,
yeah.
the sport would get chirped even more than it already does.
Yeah.
You would
Well-
have told me they're actually letting the athletes drink out there.
You get the athletes that are the angry drunks and
Oh,
those
yeah.
people that are chirping at them after every like hit or whatever, like when they're yelling like light the candle, you'll see those guys turning into Happy Gilmore, like to the
Start
guy,
fighting
the jackass
fans,
guy,
yeah.
right? Oh, you see that there? I didn't see it. I didn't see the ball, and he just starts hitting people.
No,
like
that's
in the
actually
movie.
a topic of conversation, and like, cause I had a minor in sport management, and on some of my sport management classes, like we'd get to talking about like what makes a sport, and blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and like some kids were just be like, oh yeah, like I wouldn't really say golf qualifies as like a competitive sport, like because like when I do it, I literally drink with my friends and stuff over it, and like the whole class just head snap looked right at me like, whoa, are you gonna say something? Like
Are
you
you
gonna say something?
are you offended by that?
Yeah,
You
and
just
then I'd
step
just
up
be
for your
like-
sport.
I'd be like, sure, I'll say something. The kids are like, yeah, like say something, and I'm like, we're not allowed to drink while we do it.
Yeah.
You
It's
can say
different.
that about any sport, like beer
Right.
league hockey, beer
Right.
league softball. It's all things.
That's what I said.
Statistically,
I'm
yeah.
like, if you play any sport recreationally, like you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
yeah.
Statistically, I'm like a better golfer by literally 3 or 4 strokes on average if I'm
If
drinking
you
versus
a
not
couple
drinking.
beers deep.
Because you're relaxed,
'cause,
loose.
Well, you don't think, right? It's
Right.
muscle memory. It's you just relax. You just swing the club and you don't think too much.
You'd be
There is
so,
a pocket though.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't
I'm not-
overdo it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Be like me
Between
and smash a club.
Yeah, when you're playing for like $4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. I was playing for nothing when I broke the club. We were at Pioneer Creek golf
Did
course.
you actually like snapped one over your
Well,
knee?
no.
He threw it at a storm
I had a
drain.
storm drain, and I literally, I mean,
Storm drain.
yeah, well, we were taking shots whenever any of us got a birdie.
Birdie juice.
I mean, long story short, I wasn't getting any of the birdies. Like you and we were playing with our buddy Zooch. You guys were
You're
getting
just
birdies on the
reaping
back
the
nine.
rewards of it.
There was
Yeah,
like
and I
3
was
or
just
4 holes
pounding.
in a row where one of us would have one.
Yeah, and I was pounding shots with you guys, and I didn't want to, and I was also drinking beers. and by the hole 18, just not going well. And I am like seeing, like, I'm barely, my club, it looks like I have 3 clubs in my hand when I'm going up to hit the ball. Like, it's bad. And I literally am right next to the green, chip it way over the green, and it's gone. Like, I just chucked my club onto the storm drain and it snapped.
So,
Did you know the storm drain
did
was?
you know
No.
it was there?
No.
Oh, so it was kind of unlucky.
It was
actually.
kind of unlucky, but, like, I chucked that.
And
It's
that-
like so
Yeah.
specific. Oh yeah, I saw the storm drain. Like, there's my chance.
No, I just chucked it down. I didn't see it. I'm like, and it
And we
snapped.
start-
Like,
we-
okay.
That's unlucky.
Yeah,
That's unlucky.
But
I-
still.
His ball goes screaming across the green, and he immediately starts walking. We're like, Jake, you broke the club. You're like, good. I fucking hated that club anyways.
I'm done.
But there's
I'm
better
quitting
ways
golf.
to get rid of the
I'm
club
done. I
than
know.
breaking it. Like maybe second swing, they'll give you a little bit of money for it.
Yeah, you know, and I ended up getting, I ended up upgrading my 60 degree, so I'm good. It ended up being a pro. So
Are you
There you
a
go.
fan of the 60 degree? It's a
Lob
scary,
wedge is
scary club.
oh my gosh, it's my go-to.
Really?
Oh gosh, yeah. I seriously, like, if you were to tell me that I couldn't play around a golf with that club, I'd be like, I'd be worried about it.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about. I had a teammate who accidentally left one at our practice facility. We're sitting at dinner the night before an event, and one of the guys on the men's golf team sends me a snap of like a picture of her club. It's got like her initials all over it.
Oh,
He
gosh.
sends it, goes, "Please tell me this is a demo." I like show it to her. She's like, and then I'm like, dude, like, no, it's not a demo. He responds. He goes, that's tough around
Yeah.
the foul. Like, the course was like a really tough. It's called the foul, Indiana. He's like, that's tough around the foul. She's like, no, it's fine. Like, my sand wedge is like works like really well. I can open it up. I'm like, no, totally. Like, you're so good. Thinking like that sucks.
Good luck.
Well, would you be confident enough to tee off and play your whole round with just a 60 degree? We're talking driving, putting, everything.
No.
Oh. You said
the
you
club's
loved it.
meant
Jake,
for.
You loved
I
it.
think most golfers are out on that.
Oh,
But, like, I mean, I guess the way I should have prefaced saying that was, like, there are clubs that you could pull out of the bag before my round, and I'd be like, all right, I can get through the round, like, just fine, probably shoot the same score.
Yeah.
Like, however, if you took away the driver, the putter, the lob wedge, maybe, like, a couple other wedges or, like, a mid-iron or something, I don't know. But, like, say you took out my 7-iron, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Like, the 8 and the 6, like, I can figure it out. If you took away the lob wedge, like, I'd be a little worried. I just
Yeah.
would be.
okay.
Sometimes
Although
I
I
play
should-
better if you
Yeah.
take out my driver. Like, you know those days where you're just spraying it and you're like, all right, I'm going to leave it in the trunk tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might.
The 3-wood goes maybe 20 yards shorter, but it's straight twice as much as the driver
You
is.
know what? On the PGA Tour, they actually proved like their dispersion with their driver was no worse than with their
Right.
3-wood.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I say that backwards? With their 3-wood was no better than with their driver.
We understood what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that doesn't surprise me. My 3-wood is not necessarily straighter than my driver, but like if I'm laying up, I'm like, shoot, it's 4-iron.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
That's just me though. I need to hit the ball straighter. I really do.
Yeah.
So
I love golfing with people that are like, I'm not using my driver today, and you just see them using an iron like the whole time.
Oh,
which
that's so
some of those
funny.
people, it's
Yeah.
funny, but I mean, the people I golfed with that actually like
It
shoot
works,
way better
yeah.
than me, but like, it's still just a little weird. Like, I'm like, you got to use a driver because it's fun. I love using
I
it.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's
Especially like
fun.
if they're like newer golfers, like only been playing for a few years, they're teamed up with iron. I'm like, dude, who do you think you are? Like, seriously, like we're not playing like you're just playing for fun or whatever. Like, why are you teeing up with iron?
Yeah.
We played.
Grow up.
We played a scramble last year with Tanner Morgan and Mariano Sori-Marin. from
Yeah,
the
yeah. Oh my
football
gosh, they're
team.
great guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
really
Mariano is one of those guys who tees up with like a 3-iron, and if he hits it right, like he'd fly my ball
Yep.
with the driver, and I'd look at him and be like, "That's so mean of you to just fly my ball with an iron. Like, can't you just hit a driver?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're just stronger than me." But when you're able to club down like 4 clubs lower and fly my ball, I'm like, just a little less of a man after that.
It's a little.
Then around the greens, I was like, "What's up?" I saw you didn't practice your chipping today. Well, I miss a lot of greens, so I did.
he ended up hitting
Not
the
by
driving
choice.
range
I saw you
shed.
did any chipping warmies today. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he ended up
That's
hitting
so
the driving range shed, which was great.
If anyone ever asks why you're good at chipping, just say because I miss a lot of greens. That's what I always do. That's my go-to.
That's really
You probably
fair.
don't miss a lot of greens though.
That's I don't know.
What's
You
your
can admit it.
What's your GUR percentage? You track those stats?
The GUR.
Yeah, I
the
do.
fur.
It really, really varies. Rounds of golf, I'll hit like 9 greens. Some rounds of golf, I hit 17, 18 greens. But that's if I'm playing like unbelievable. I would say
Yeah.
like if you hit 14 greens or more, like I would say that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Like I would never be mad if I hit 14 greens. Once you start getting around like 10, 11, like that's not good. That is not good
Yeah.
at all. But sometimes, like, and it also depends on, like, what the green miss is. Like, you can miss the green and, like, it was a terrible shot. Like, you are screwed, like, short-sided. And you can, like, hit a great shot, like, just rolled over, like, whatever. And that's a missed green. So it just depends, like, on the difficulty on the up and down and stuff. Like, I've shot some really good rounds of golf. But, like, I've shot 71. I hit 10 greens. Like, good rounds of golf given the amount of greens I hit. But then I've played some rounds of golf where I shot like 2 over, hit like 16 greens. Like you just played terrible. Or when you did hit the green, you were 40 feet away.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing too.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like better off just missing the green for those greens that are massive.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I'm 10 feet, I'm like 5 feet short of the green. And if I was on it, I have to putt this. Like I'd rather just chip. And
Yeah.
You know, I actually do wonder, like, it's been a while since I've caddied too. So like the way these conversations went, like with people who are recreational golfers, like where are you aiming? Like, are you aiming at the flag every single time, or are you just trying to hit the center of the green?
I don't know where I'm aiming.
No, yeah.
I mean, Jack,
the
you
hole's
do
that direction.
probably
I'm
more
going,
than us.
yeah.
But sometimes I'm like,
Okay.
I'm trying to relatively. But sometimes I feel like for a rec golfer, like maybe Zane and I who are less experienced, I feel like we're trying to aim to the hole almost too much, and rather than like we should just aim towards.
you should
the
aim
green.
away from it.
Yeah.
And then you might hit the green.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I should now.
It's crazy enough to work.
However,
Might
but
work.
it's like one of the things you learn when you first start playing competitive golf is like you always want your target to be as small as possible.
Aim
because-
small, miss small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
We've all heard that.
you know, if you're going like that's why like whenever you're teeing off, you should never just be aiming down the fairway. Like you should be aiming at like a tree, like a really small tree, like through the aim point that you're like looking at, or like the edge of a house or something. You should never be just like, oh, I'm trying to hit the fairway.
Yeah, so I've never done that ever on my drive. I'm just like,
My
pull
perspective
that way.
needs
Right,
to
no, but
change.
you'd be surprised because like then it could feel like you'd be like, man, I missed that by quite a bit, but like we're still in the fairway.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
You'd be surprised. Try it out. Try it out next time you go.
I will.
We will try that next time. I'm
Well,
going to
hey.
break 90.
He's going to
There we
break
go.
90 and not any clubs on any storm.
I'm going to get 67 on my next round, and I'm going to become a professional. I'm going to register for the U.S. Open
Qualifier.
There you
qualifiers
go.
and pay $5,000.
And then
He's like, no, what is it?
What's it
I'm
called?
ready.
Just a small tournament, you know.
and then publish a graphic that says you've been eliminated from contention of the U.S. Open.
I think it'd be so
That'd be
funny.
a great bit.
Final
It really
score.
would.
I'd be so willing to do it. I just
107.
think it costs money. I actually looked
It
into
does
it.
cost money. Well,
I would be
And
so bad.
But the people who
you got to play
awful.
36 holes too.
oh,
It's worth it, Jake. Just do it.
Jake, the
I might
people
do
you'd be
it.
paired with though would also miss the U.S. Open because they'd be so fucking mad at you.
dude, I would go up there
slowing
by
down your routine.
pulling out shooters in the corner. All right, guys, let's go.
So one of them makes a
Dude,
birdie. You're
I
like, you guys
think-
got the
That'd be
fireball.
so bad.
My genuine prediction of how that would go is it would be like so funny, and then once you tee off, you'd be like, actually, like you'd actually feel like nervous, and
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is like
it'd
actually
be
really
so
scary.
bad.
Like this is really hard.
If I legitimately do that, I would spend like $1,000 on good-looking golf apparel, like top-notch, like Travis Matthews
Why
stuff.
not?
Show up.
Why not?
Say I'm sponsored by all this shit, and then
You're the
just
worst
suck.
person there, yeah.
And just absolutely suck. I mean, we've seen people like that on rec courses.
We
They
have,
look like,
yeah.
what is this guy doing? Thinks he's at the Masters or something right now, like wearing the
Yeah.
pants, and they're usually the worst golfers.
Do you have any tips
Like-
for people like Jake and I who are trying to break 90? 'Cause
Yeah, how do you get good at
Yes,
golf?
how do you get good at golf? But what are some just basic tips that can
When
help
I
us
let you
break
know,
90?
I'll figure it out.
Damn it.
Oh, it's like the million. It's like, what is the meaning of life? It's the same
No.
question.
No, I mean, my tips for people who just start out would be to, I don't know, like your demeanor on the course, but it's always like, I always advise people to like try not to get frustrated because it's really hard. And like, you would be so surprised like how much better you play when you like
With a
don't get
good
frustrated.
mindset, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing would be like, just play as much as you can. Like the more you play, I mean, once you get to a specific level, like you're going to need to practice to get better, but just the more you play, the better you'll be. So, the more you can get out there, the more you can hit balls, the more you can putt, you just get better. You just understand more about your own game and stuff. The better the club will feel in your hands, literally. Like the better more comfortable you feel over it.
Yeah, get
So-
pucks in deep, and then, well,
Crash hard.
yeah. Well, the part about not getting frustrated and just always have a positive mindset just reminds me. Well, I need that advice
Yeah,
big
we
time.
all do.
We all do, but like that just
Everybody
reminds me
does.
of like
It's
golfing with my dad who has a beer, blames it on the beer, gets pissed, and then all of a sudden he's at not care golf. Yeah, I'm not writing down the score. Not care. I'm a little happier now, even though he's really not. But he's like not care. I'm like, what? I guess that's kind of a good mindset to like. You're telling yourself not care. Okay, I'm not caring.
Under commit, over deliver.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say you were talking about the strategy of going in, dressing like you're pro, and then playing like shit. On the flip side, I've always thought this is something you could do if you get up to the first tee of a match. have your practice swings look absolutely terrible, and then your playing partners will
Hustle
be like,
them a little bit.
oh, she's going to be terrible, blah, 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 and then just step up and just rip one.
Oh, yeah.
They will not recover mentally from that. They'll be thrown off the rest of the round. Like, she was supposed to be terrible. Now she's beating me by 4. That idea came to me after high school golf, and I'm like, dang, I never got to try that. But
That's funny.
if you're ever looking for an edge, just
I don't know.
walk up there.
I played on the boys team in high school, so like literally when I showed up and I was like the only girl there, and there's like 100 dudes, like everyone was like, who is this girl like playing? And like, I mean, shoot, I was like 15, like I was literally a kid. Even the kids' parents are like, who's this girl? But
then
so,
you proceed to kick all
Yeah,
their
I was gonna
asses.
say.
at times that, I mean, shoot, it was not easy like playing it. I played longer at that point than I do now in college. Like we played long, which is short, just guys tees and girls tees.
Yep.
But so it was definitely a challenge. But I think a big part too, you asked me, how I started playing well, like so quickly. That's a big part of it too. Really like challenged myself. I don't think if I would have played girls high school golf, this is, nothing against girls high school golf, but like the challenge that it was to play against the competition with the guys from their tees was like definitely helped me step it up quicker for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got to hit it that far and like much further and all that stuff right away.
Yeah, well, and even like people would say like, when I got to school, like a lot of people would say like play like a men's style game. Can't control the golf ball. you can hit it.
Shit at putting.
Drink 12 beers.
Yeah.
Around?
Yep.
No.
Break
Yeah.
a club on a storm drain.
Yeah.
The whole checklist.
Exactly.
Go mute for 4 or 5 holes. Cam's done that. I
Tell
have done that.
Tell everyone you're having fun, but you're clearly not having fun.
No, or you get into the cart. We're having fun. This is golf.
This is
We're
fun.
having
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun.
We paid
It's
money
fun.
to have fun.
You just
Right.
launched the ball in the water. I know.
Right.
Yeah. Give me another ball. Give me another ball.
Jake,
Reload.
You
Reload.
you technically have the last one on the list, and I've been laughing over here because I'm waiting for you to read it.
I know. Say
well,
it.
did you?
Oh, is
want-
this the scramble question again?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. There was
So-
one more, but it was Jake's responsibility to get
He
to
was
it.
the one who wrote
He never
this one
did.
down. So.
I wrote this one. This is very random. Jake Paul or Alex Jones?
What?
What? One might be definitely more obvious than the other.
They'll
but-
both probably talk about Russia.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
Can guarantee
They're
that's
both.
gonna
They
happen.
both seem kind of crazy.
Probably. I don't know. I don't even know.
Just wouldn't show up to that one.
Yeah.
Maybe
No
neither.
show.
Maybe neither.
Just a no-show.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably the safer choice.
I would say that's the safe choice with the rep of Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Jones might not
Alex-
even end up golfing.
He probably doesn't trust golf carts, so he'd like walk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The globalists trust the
The
golf cart.
globalists. There's communication. You see that water over there? Like,
There's aliens in there. It's like
there's
okay.
aliens. They turned the frogs gay in there. Yeah. Just shit like that.
God.
It was just an extreme one I had to put on the list.
Okay.
Jake
okay.
Paul is
Jake
definitely the
Paul.
obvious one,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
You
the
just
safer,
picture-
the safer choice. That one if I had to. The other one's if you got to. That one if you had to. I guess.
Can just picture you with a straight face just typing that one out. Like,
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Oh,
I
here's
got a
good
good
one.
idea.
Yeah, here's a good one.
Dead
It was actually it was actually his first idea, but he moved it to the end.
Yeah, I had to move it to the end to like, oh yeah, if this is the first idea, we can't have. It
You can't
expand
up
from
that
Yeah, we
there.
gotta
one,
warm up
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, so we warmed you up for sure. So that
By the
one was
way,
crazy.
just letting you know now, us 3 joined a fantasy hockey league, and
Mm-hmm.
the commissioner
Oh, shit.
decided to make the draft right now. So if we're on our phone, we're not ignoring you. We're all general managers.
Oh,
but
no.
but we're good.
It's like,
we're not.
but it's like a hands-off.
We're professional. We
Don't
can
worry
do
about
both.
it.
Yes.
Multitask.
yeah,
Oh,
we can
geez,
multitask.
I'm
but
sorry.
We're fine. No, we're good.
No,
we're good.
blame
That
the
stuff that's
No,
serious
no.
stuff.
I'm blaming
No,
the fucking commissioner.
We blame the commissioner because he was like, "Oh, I can't do it Sunday night. I have to watch the Twins." I'm
He
like,
might be a
"You can-
listener of the show too.
That's
so-
fine, Gil. You can draft and watch the fucking Twins at the same
yeah,
time.
come on,
It's
Gil.
baseball.
It's
And then-
it's the Gil I know.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Gil.
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
you
yeah,
doing?
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah, sorry. So if you see us on our phone, it's not like I don't care what you're saying. It's like I have to draft probably the wrong pick.
When am I
so.
even picking? Oh, I'm like
Draft
fifth. We're
probably the
fine.
wrong pick.
Pick a goalie
We'll
first,
figure it
boys.
out. Hey, we got another little game to play. We call it Basic Golf Rapid Fire. We'll just ask you a basic question. You can just first thing that comes to your head, you can just answer it.
Sick.
Okay.
All right.
Draw or fade?
Draw.
There we go.
I've always wanted to hit a draw. I can't. I hit what I call a power fade. It's more of a controlled slice, but
Okay, that's all right. Draws go further.
yeah, I know.
Draws do go further.
I
Probably why Mariano was flying me with a fucking
Yeah.
2 irons because I was hitting a fade and it was taking 30 yards off of it.
I still can't define a draw or fade after it happens. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a nice fade. They're like, that was a Jack. You'd be like, that was a draw. Jake.
You were like, that
oh.
faded left. I'm like,
Draws
that's
right to
that.
left.
I'm like-
Fade is left to right.
Okay, I won't remember that after
No,
tonight
because
again.
we've had this conversation 9 times.
Really?
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then Zane, you'll be like, it's a fade. I'm like, I think that's a draw. You're like, really?
Well, if you think about
I
like
don't know.
basketball, like fadeaway
Yeah.
is like, isn't that when it
out
like
to the
goes
way.
like out to the
Yeah. I'm still thinking that's still not probably
I think
gonna
it's
help
you
me.
step back and just shoot it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's a fadeaway. But can they
But
fade
you
a
could. Yeah, I
basketball?
think you could go left or right. With
But
it.
I thought that it was like a. Okay, never mind.
We're getting too deep. It's just
None
gonna
of us are
confuse me further.
basketball.
Well, I got
guys.
cut. I got cut from basketball in high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So
yeah.
clearly not basketball guys.
Wasn't very good at the fadeaway.
Yeah.
I could hit like 1-3 maybe every 5 games. So
You play basketball?
yeah, unfortunately,
High school.
I was short in high school.
You
though.
sounded so defeated when you said that. You're like, yeah.
I regretted it.
Just-
I've since switched to hockey.
No,
but-
he's a hockey guy now.
Yeah,
Just for like
officially.
remembrance sake. Like
Yes.
fade away in basketball means like it's going like away to the right.
yeah.
So
like a
fade is
slice.
left to right.
Yes. Remember it like that, like a fade away.
Do you ever
That's what I was.
Right.
do you ever
Okay.
find yourself playing with like newer golfers and just cringe at some of the things they say? Like, because you know golf has such a lingo.
It does, but honestly, never because
Yeah.
like I mean, just as someone who's a golfer, same way people are like, oh my god, like I can't play golf with you, I'm gonna be bad. I'm like, dude, it's hard, and
Right.
you don't
Yeah.
play. Like I try really, like I practice all the time, and like. It's still really hard. It's like I would never judge somebody for being terrible.
Right,
I would
right.
never judge somebody for saying something dumb just because, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's
It's a hard
whatever.
sport. It's the
Yeah.
hardest sport in the world.
Totally. And if you're like, how would you know? If you're
Right.
a beginner,
If
how
you've
would you
ne-
know?
yeah,
If
if
you
you've
don't know,
never
you don't
done
know.
it, yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'll
Exactly.
happily explain it to you if you want to know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Next question. Pro V1 or any other ball?
Pro V1X.
Oh, X.
Okay.
Yeah.
X.
True.
What's the difference?
So the Pro V1 is like softer, technically a softer ball. So like it's better around the greens.
Okay.
So you can get a little bit more spin around the greens. However, but then Pro V1 can also like is better for off the tee with distance. But I find that the X actually like approach shots into greens have a really more consistent spin.
Okay.
But it's not quite as soft. So like just there's a lot of differences with balls.
Okay.
I chirp my parents when like they use like expensive golf balls because they're not good at golf, and I'm like nobody who doesn't play like competitive golf or like is a decent player should be like spending money on expensive golf.
Yeah,
balls.
using Pro
$54
V1.
You're not.
$1 a
You are
dozen.
not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Yeah, no, I don't even know the difference between normal balls
People
and
are
range
like-
balls. Like it
people are-
feels the same to me as
No,
yeah.
people are like, oh, I'm trying. I mean, as long as you're not using like limited distance practice balls,
yeah.
like you're not gonna notice a difference.
know
like,
someone that does
it's
that.
like,
Oh,
Oh,
I always love the person
Probably picture
who.
him.
it's like, oh, I'm trying to break 100. Like maybe I should like invest in some really expensive golf balls.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do it.
Well,
yeah.
our friend Bubba, he's a big
Oh.
dude.
He got brought
well,
up
no,
again.
but
He
he's
had to bring him
you know
up.
he's specific to this. He fits this profile. Only person I know that does this is last time I was golfing with him. He had a couple balls in his pocket. I didn't. We were far away from the cart. He's like, here, take one of these. Just practice ball. I'm like,
Range
dude,
ball?
range ball. I'm like, no, dude, do you have like, no, I've been using practice balls. I'm like, dude, no, like I'm a rec golfer, but like, come on, like I don't want to use this. Like,
Especially the ones that have like the Nerf distance, because sometimes they don't want them to go as far as they truly would go, so they go like 75% of the way. And you see people who use range balls, and you're like, don't use that.
yeah, that's Top Flight is my preferred choice.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You're,
just joking.
you're not a Wilson guy?
No.
No.
Wilson's gotten
noodle.
better.
Wilson-
The Wilson
Wilson's good.
staff,
Yeah, they
the Wilson
are.
staff
Wilson's good.
duos
Not
are
that-
actually money.
Wilson is elevating for sure with all their stuff too.
Yeah.
With their like apparel and their clubs.
Yeah, they were like one of the big three growing up of Top Flight, Wilson, and Spalding. That if you found one of them, you threw it back. But
Dude, I just got 100 used Wilsons for $15 because I lose so many balls. I was like, I might as well just pull the trigger here.
I mean, yeah, they're fine. They're totally fine if you're like new to golf.
yeah,
but
yeah.
when you get a little better, you can feel how hard they are
Okay.
and the
I
sound
know.
it makes off your club, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I go the route of like I'm just gonna save money on golf balls, and then I find like a Pro V and use it, and I hit it straight, and I'm like, this is
the ball.
you can feel the difference
Yeah.
on it, and then I get back in I really should be buying Pro V ones.
yeah.
But all right, the next one is wooden tees or plastic tees.
Plastic tees off the tee, wooden tees on par threes. I'm like I don't know
It was like some sort of
I
rhyme
don't
there.
know why.
That did rhyme, actually.
I don't know why. I swear plastic tees feel so good with the driver, but I don't like them with an iron. So
Interesting.
I need to use a wooden tee, but that's just like a little superstitious. I need to use a wooden tee in a par 3, but plastic tees
No,
otherwise.
that's new advice. That's advice.
I don't even know. I don't even know if that's advice. That's
Nope,
just
we're
like
gonna
a
try it.
superstition.
I'm taking it as advice because now we're just gonna be.
This
better.
is super specific, but you know the tees they give you at TPC?
Yeah.
Those are my favorite tees.
Those are good
yes,
ones.
I love
I
those.
use those religiously, and like every time I go
Those
there,
are the wooden ones, right?
Yeah. And they like break after every time you hit them, but it's always so clean. And every time I ask the ranger, he can probably tell that I'm a guest. I'm like, can I have like a handful of them? And he's like, yeah, you can. They're free. And I'm like, thanks.
He literally told us all to take handfuls
Yeah.
last time we were there. I still use them as well.
I don't know when I'll be back.
That's a thing that never goes away. I still take handfuls of teas. Like if I'm at like a cool course and stuff too. I'm
Yeah.
Like, can I just?
Well,
grab
it's
a
so
ton of
cool to be at the course and be like, hey, check it out, and show one of your friends, a TPC tee, right?
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool at our practice facility and like all the courses that all of us play individually, and then as teams, like we're everywhere, like from Sea Island
Yeah.
and Chambers Bay and wherever, California, Bahamas, like all these courses, and there's just like all these tees, like from all these different places, just all in the Bliss Bolstead practice facility.
It's just like it's almost like a museum of teas.
No, seriously, yeah. They're broken too when they're in the snow, and then they like are all fine out there, and the snow melts, and there's like a million tees.
Yeah. Side question: you played Chambers Bay, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Chambers Bay is
So hard.
beautiful, so awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely tough, but
They have like the train that runs along it, right? That
Yeah.
was the Jordan Spieth
yeah,
U.S. Open.
Yes,
Yeah.
someone hit the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really cool, and it comes to like multiple times throughout the round. But what's so cool about Chambers is like I don't know how many courses where you can see the water on every single hole.
Yeah.
Like every single hole was a cool view. When I was out at Pebble, like all of the courses like on the coast are so sick, but all the inland holes are like nothing really special. Like they got their signature holes, but obviously Pebble's Pebble, but like still Chambers, I was like, dude, this is so cool how every single hole is so scenic.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're right. Pebble has its scenic holes, but then they're just like, here's a dog, like, right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. Yeah. So many like primo courses are like that. Like, like a lot of the ones they play in the PGA Tour, like for majors and stuff. The courses, like they have their signature holes, but then like the rest of the course, like you wouldn't even know what it was sometimes because it's just like not as cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Not a big deal, but we played Pebble on the simulator in our winter league this year.
True.
Yeah, no big deal.
Ooh, how'd it go?
That's probably not good.
Not good for me.
Yeah.
Remember,
it was
that was a two-man best ball league, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
if
probably
that was,
Deep
lost
in
a lot of
winter.
balls.
I don't know if that was when
I loved
20
my
over.
favorite, I think, golf meme on the internet is the guy who's in the simulator holding the ball, and he's like, guess what? I played a whole round and didn't lose a ball. It's like such a dad joke.
Yeah.
The golf
That's
simulator.
a good one.
It was a great joke.
Dude, I should steal that. That's a good
You
one.
need to
Oh,
steal
yeah.
that.
I should.
Next time you're playing a simulator, you'd be like, hey, I played 18 holes and using the same ball.
Same on.
That's sometimes a rarity for me. Seriously.
Next up on the rapid fire here, we got mallet putter or blade putter.
Blade.
Oh, okay.
Blade.
That was fast. Yeah.
Blades. I also, I feel like I'm partial because I just think blades like look cool.
They do, yes.
Yeah.
But I do love my Scotty blade that I've had.
I was
for a
just
couple
about to
years.
ask if you play a Scotty.
Yeah. Guy at TPC, Michael Tidd, shout out, Golf Specs. He tricked out my putter with, engraved it with like, it says carp, and then it's got bombs on it, like
Oh,
literal, like
sick.
the emojis bombs.
Yeah.
And it's got like a golden gopher, like Goldie engraved
Oh,
on
wow.
it too.
That's
it's
fucking
and like
sick.
maroon and gold accents.
Oh,
it's
jeez.
so sick.
You
it's
get like
really,
custom like gopher head covers
it's really
too.
icy. Oh yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
get new head covers every year. Really cool. Yeah, I can grab you guys one.
That'd be
Do
sick.
it.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
it.
I mean, by grab you guys one, I mean I can give you one that I used in the past. I
Sure,
don't
that's
use anymore, if
that's all I
okay.
need to go
If
with
that's
my
okay.
University of Minnesota golf bag because I
Do you actually have one?
because I allegedly golfed for the University of Minnesota.
You actually have it. You have
I
them?
do.
I
bought
don't
it
know
used
if it's a
at
team
Second Flight.
bag.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
do.
if
I
it's a
bought
I
it
don't
team
know if
bag.
it's a team bag, but I like to say it's a team bag. And then I like to think when I'm
Get your
rolling
name.
up,
Get your name engraved on it.
I should.
Everyone will be like,
And-
"Oh my God, you played for the U."
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's one of those
Yeah.
things that I thought, for whatever reason growing up, that's like an impossible thing. I'm like, oh, only people who have their like their name embroidered on their bags are like really good, and someone's like, dude, you can take that somewhere.
Yeah.
And they'll do it for like $10.
That's why it's so funny. I'd like to think that people have seen me show up to either the driving range or the first tee and are watching me and see my bag. Like, oh, he must have been a former college golfer. Then they see me tee off and like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Did he steal that from a U of M player or what?
Just a really, really big Gopher golf fan. Just a diehard Gopher golf fan.
I have season tickets. Show up to every course.
If you got your name embroidered on your bag, though, I'm not kidding.
I really need to figure out how to do that.
You just take it somewhere, right?
Yeah, where do you take it? I don't see. Like I told you, I just found out that anyone can do it.
I never thought
it was
of
my
that
Christmas.
idea.
It was my Christmas gift when I was a junior golfer, and then after that, in college, they just brought in bags that were embroidered. But I think you can literally just take it somewhere.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
Or you can get some needle and thread.
I could try to do it myself.
True,
Or
you
my
spell
mother,
it.
I don't know.
But it would look like it was written by like a second grader. It's like Jake,
my
bring
name's
gold.
Yeah, right. It's embroidered though. And then
there's like a path of stitching that just went up here. But
it's just nothing. I'm trying to like put like M logo or something like that, and it just looks like
you wrote it when you were freezing cold.
Yeah, it doesn't even look. It looks like the letter E or something. But also, like, if I get that on top of like some old head covers, I am looking good out there on the course. I am officially a former athlete.
I would say
with
so.
the U of M officially. So
that's how it works, actually.
Yeah, no, that you just need it like with that. Get it embroidered, get the head covers, and you're good to go.
I recently switched to a belly putter because growing up, my grandpa used like this.
Belly putters are illegal.
Well, like the Lucas Glover one. I think as long as you don't stick it in your chest, right?
Yeah. There's the variation of it now.
Yeah. So I have one of those because my grandpa used it growing up all the time, and it was just like sitting in my room at home, and I'm like, I feel like I got to honor him and use this, so I cleaned it up, and I've tried to switch to it. Been a bit of a brutal transition, but I think I'm figuring it out finally. So I do the one grip up here, elbow up, and then I claw it at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes if I don't grab it hard enough at the bottom, my path is like Will Zalatoris, and it goes like I figure eight with it. So I'm figuring out how to do the belly putter.
Dude, I've been thinking about switching to the claw grip. I have been.
It looks cool. See, that's the only reason I really like.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think so?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is the thing, and I've wanted to say this on my. I wanted to say this on my podcast. Like some people who came on who like use the claw grip. Like I've been so close to just like chirping them like the claw, but like they're so good, and like we don't know each other, so I feel like I can't. But
it just looks like someone with the claw has like such a light touch on the claw.
The thing about the claw. Okay, this is the thing. The thing about the claw. Sorry if anybody uses the claw. The thing about the claw is that nobody learns to play with the claw grip. So if you're using the claw grip, it's like a dead giveaway that at one point in your life you were so desperate, like you would do anything to get the ball in the hole, that it's like, okay, like last resort, let's go to the claw. And then like people got good with it, so then that's what people do. But so like I've been so hesitant to switch to the claw because I'm like, if I do this, then everybody's gonna know how horrible. Like I just had no confidence, no confidence with the putter.
You're spot on with that, because every time I've switched to the claw, it's when I like can't do anything else.
When you're just like,
it's a desperate attempt to just try to make a putt.
Yeah, seriously, you're like, screw it, like why not?
Or even leg putt a 20-footer. You're like, maybe I can put it next to the hole if I just switch to that grip.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm also thinking about doing it. So
Emma, the claw community might come after you. Though.
Yeah,
you have to watch that.
I know, seriously. Like I've thought about doing it. Like my very first podcast. Like the guy that I had on used the claw, and he's filthy. Like he's so good at golf. But I thought about just like lightly chirping him. I was like, maybe not. Maybe I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if the claw is a sign of desperation, I'm probably a year or two away from it.
Give it a rip, Jake.
Yeah, maybe I should, because it's getting bad. I'm breaking clubs on storm
time
drains
you're
now.
yeah.
So.
Well, as a bad golfer, when I see someone with the claw, I'm like, this person, they're putting a lot of hours.
They're
into
putting
their
work
game.
in.
Yeah, they're probably pretty good. That's me as a bad golfer.
That was my
Putting in
perspective initially.
That's someone who has gone batshit crazy. Is when you see
what I'm
sport.
saying. I'm not far. I'm not kidding. I was this close to doing it. This close. I was practicing with it. I was like, God, it feels good.
Some of the people who use the grip where they grip the top of it and the two thumbs in the middle, I'm like, how rough is your putting game right now that you thought that was a good idea?
Yeah. People are desperate. I mean, who cares? Like,
right now.
I'm talking about
crosshand. My brother and my dad both do crosshand.
I putt cross-handed.
You putt cross-handed?
Yeah,
I tried it.
I learned to putt cross-handed.
Oh, really?
My dad, who love you, Dad. He's a 24 handicap, or maybe he's a little better now. Maybe he's like 20. But he literally he taught me, like, was convinced that, like, you had to put cross-handed to make putts. So that's why I learned to play golf. People are like, when I'm putting bad, people are like, oh, it's like, why do you putt cross-handed? Maybe you should switch back to conventional. I'm like, dude, I've never putted conventional before. I wish it was that simple. Maybe it's the claw. Maybe that's what it is.
Just try the claw. You might come to the dark side.
Yeah. Why not? I was playing in a scramble this summer with my friend, and I was like screwing around on the second hole. I was like, should I just use the claw today? Like, why not? And I had like a 4-footer. I was like, all right, if I make this, I'm using the claw for the rest of the season. And I like rolled it in. The guys we were playing with were like, you said it. You got to use it all season. But I didn't.
Yeah.
Should have.
I'm going to use the claw.
Jake,
this
try the
weekend.
claw.
I'm
Yeah,
using
we'll use it
we
at
have
a
a scramble this
weekend.
weekend. I'm going to try the
We can
claw,
bust
even though
it out.
do I really have the
What
right
scramble
putter
are you
for it?
guys in?
The Valleywood
Valleywood-
Superintendent's Revenge Scramble.
Where at?
Valleywood.
Valleywood, Apple Valley,
Oh,
Minnesota.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm playing in a scramble this weekend too.
Where are you
Where are
playing?
you playing at?
Legends.
Oh, well, yeah, that one's just so much better than ours.
We should probably try to sign up for that one, but we're.
My friend works the Bev cart, so
Oh, okay, yeah,
that's where I
nice.
played the other one too.
Yeah.
Legends.
I think that's the
one-
only one
yeah.
I haven't played down there.
Yeah, I've never played
Meadows, Wilds. I haven't played Legends yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like have to make sure because I obviously can't win any money or anything. So like,
Yeah.
I just play like for
for fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Legends.
Nothing wrong with getting around into the Legends though. That's
no, the place is
very
cool.
fun.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
spot.
right
Good
in
spot.
Lakeville there near Heritage Links, which is not as good of a course. It just doesn't meet the level of expectations of the Legends, but it's
Heritage Links makes a damn good Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
though.
they
If you ever
do.
play there in
Really?
the morning.
yeah,
Really?
We got there at 8 a.m.
We decided
That's
to do an
good to
8
know.
a.m. tea time on a Saturday. It was a regretful 8 a.m. tea time, but
Ask us about any course. We'll tell you about their alcoholic beverages.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. No, actually good to know. What course has the best alcoholic beverages?
everyone here knows what it is. It starts with a
Wait,
D.
say it.
Oh,
say it at the
yes.
same, say it at the
Starts with a
exact
D.
same time.
We do. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Deer Run.
Oh gosh.
Did you say that?
No.
Oh, I thought you were
was
going to say
listening.
one. I thought you were going to say one.
Oh
and
no, I was like just wanted to see what
Oh,
you three
no,
would
I
say.
know.
I didn't.
Deer Run.
Well, Fireball Friday is awesome.
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That's where
Fireball
So on,
Fridays.
is it the 9th hole?
Like
they give
12th
you, the
hole.
12th hole. They give you a free shot of Fireball
well,
on Fridays.
yeah, and then on
Oh,
hole
come
4
on,
too.
no way.
Hole
It's
4
brutal.
as well, which
Yeah.
is like that's a little early for one. Unless
Yeah.
you
double.
So it's like 2 free shots, which is like normally $12 at a golf course.
Hey, sometimes by that hole I need one, so it's already done. The round's over, so I need one to keep me going. But that right before
No,
that,
and underrated fact, they give you souvenir cups if you get
Yep.
mixed drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Bring 'em home, yeah.
exactly. Bring them home, and then
yeah, and
You're
they're
kidding.
Yeah.
and they're one of those courses that provide the tees in the cart, which
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of the nice courses do that.
they
Obviously,
have
but
the nice
like,
seats with the Crown logo on it.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
those seats.
Yeah.
it's
I do.
beautiful.
So you've never played Deer Run?
No, I haven't.
No.
But
I'm
sounds
sure
like
you have
Deer
access
Run-
to way better courses, but
Well,
it is a fun course.
Deer Run loves fun though.
They do.
In Victoria, there's a bar called Floyd's right down the road.
We
that
always
is
hit up
just-
Floyd's after.
It's an interesting
You
spot.
just end up there. and
Yeah.
There's a ton of bikers, and you walk in with like a polo and shorts.
yeah.
It's like a duel.
Well, yeah. What was that time? Was I with you, Zane, or was I
Yeah.
with? I'm just wearing like the pheasant waggle thing,
Yeah.
and it's I look like such a fucking
And people are there
douchebag.
for like country music
and,
night.
and there's a bunch of other people there like that are just biker looking people like, and
Jake,
I'm
you're
just
on the
sitting
clock.
there just being an idiot. Okay, I got a minute left, but no, it was a great time. I think what I did is I set down a beer, and then I put down my ball marker right by my beer and picked up my beer. On the
Yeah,
ground
you were
and we did a
reading your
whole bit.
drink.
I was reading the drink or something was the caption. I don't know
No
what I was
way.
trying to do honestly, but
That's funny.
I do
That's
not,
a good one.
Do not fit in there when we show up in the polo and tucked in with the shorts, but it's a good bit. It's funny. It's a
My
good course.
my final question, I'm sure these guys have a few more too. It's just you also sing, including the national anthem at Gopher sports events. What's more nerve-wracking, playing a round of golf or having to sing the national anthem in front of a whole stadium?
First tee versus that.
Yeah, first tee versus having to sing.
I would say the round of golf.
Oh,
or,
really?
or first tee, both.
Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
mean, yeah, first tee is probably the height of the nerves, but I would say playing a competitive round of golf, I feel more nervous.
Okay,
than
but
singing
that
national
also must mean you have to be pretty confident in your singing.
anthem. It's not even. I wouldn't even say it's like so confident in my singing as much as it is like we got what we got. Like let's do our best.
Get it done. Okay, I
Versus
got
like
you.
a round of golf, like round of golf. If you don't have your A game, you don't get it going that day, or like just a lot can happen in a round of golf.
Yeah.
And like I will say like I've definitely had some performances or like I've sang where I didn't feel good afterwards, not a good feeling. Same with golf, but like golf especially, like you never know what's gonna happen. Singing, like for me, like I got the same voice. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're equipped how we're equipped. But golf, it's like you go out there and like literally anything could happen, good or bad.
Yeah.
So
See, the nice thing about singing though is you never have to walk into a stadium and worry about that because you know that probably 99% of the fans in there couldn't sing as well as you.
No.
So even if you're like on your worst day, like if you ever heard us sing the national anthem,
Yeah.
fucking train wreck.
that's nice of you to
we
say.
probably get called terrorists for how bad we butcher it, honestly. So
No, dude. So many people are good at singing. Like you could throw a rock and hit a good singer. People
Kirk
like
Cousins.
yeah. so many people I feel like are really good singers, and people don't give themselves enough credit. Like people can carry a tune. I mean, and also I was classically trained for like 9 years.
Okay.
So I definitely like worked at it a lot. Now the national anthem is the only song in my repertoire anymore. But yeah. Also, sorry.
I was gonna say you can make a career out of just singing in the national anthem.
Many
that's
people
what you
have
need.
actually. Yeah.
I'm not nearly as good as people who like do big events, but it's fun to do it for my school for sure.
Yeah.
see, but you're just like golf. You're starting in the collegiate level, and you can move your way up.
Exactly. There's levels. to
You're on,
this.
you're on the track.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that some nerves that go right along with rounds of golf too would be like announcing for sure.
Yeah, because you do that as well.
Definitely. I don't know what it is. I would say sideline reporting specifically is more nerve wracking than like being on a play-by-play or analyst call.
Oh, yeah.
Because like honestly, being on play-by-play call, like why I love it so much is like it's kind of like what we're doing right now. It's like you just sit down and you have the headset on and you just do your thing and call a game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stumble over your words, like is it a big deal? Because like can anybody talk for 3 hours without like a stumble? No. Like even the best people, the best broadcasters do it. However, like when I've sideline reported, it's like they cut to you and you got like a minute and a half to like give a really fire hit, and it's like don't screw it up, and they're like 3, 2, 1, and you're like, well, all right, let's do it.
And you have that time where you have to wait.
Yeah.
I suppose even that, you're just like trying to stay calm and just
Totally.
But then like when you have to deliver that, I'd be terrified of delivering the first word. I'd be terrified that I'd open my mouth and like gibberish.
And
would
nothing
come out.
would. Yeah. Like,
like a different language.
What is it? What is that? The random Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty,
When he's there
yes.
and he's like, you like can't hear anything, and he's just like standing there. They're like, Bruce, talk, talk, and he's just staring and smiling at the camera.
Yep.
Well,
Stage fright.
we had Ben Lieber on the show. He used to be a linebacker for the Vikings, and he says doing color is 10 times more nerve-wracking than playing an actual game.
Really? He
Yeah,
said that?
yeah.
Color is really tough.
Because that's you have to be the expert. So I
Yeah.
guess. But
Add
still,
the analysis, add to the awkward pauses, or else
Yeah.
you feel like you feel like you have to add something, but it could really just be bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, and the
Yeah.
thing that's so tough about color is like the play-by-play announcer really kind of runs the show. So like the play-by-play guy is the one who's like gonna basically tell color when to talk.
Yes.
Depending on like when they stop talking. So it's like I remember first shift I ever worked was play-by-play for baseball. And I also worked a play-by-play shift for women's hockey. A color. I worked a lot of color shifts, but I specifically remember working for women's hockey was really tough because the guy who does their play-by-play is really, really good. He's been there for years. And so he really runs it, which is good because, you know, it was going to be a good show. But, like, it was the kind of thing where I didn't know when he was going to stop talking. And when he did stop talking, it was kind of like, okay, now
Time
it's your
to
turn
go.
to say something. It's like, you better come up with something to say.
Yeah.
Like,
He just looks at you, provide analysis.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, that play wasn't great.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, but that one was a bummer. Did not know at times.
Yeah, they point. Well, like I ironically did play-by-play in color at the U of M.
Yeah?
With the Big Ten Network Plus stuff.
Yeah, sick. Let's
and
go, yes.
I did more play-by-play, but color, I hated it for the most part of that. They would just point at you. They would look at you. And one guy was like pointing at the screen, like, and he's like this. I'm like, what do you want me to say? Like, it was just, he just did a layup.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you could see... Went into the paint and had a nice layup
Yeah.
there.
He had to leave. He actually had to leave the floor for that one.
Yeah.
That's how the layup traditionally works.
A lot of times they want you to say like some like background story about like the player or something. Like, oh yeah, you know, like they've been like I always resort to stats too. Like
Yeah,
just
that's-
like if you can just be like, oh yeah, that's their, you know, that's their like they're 2 for 3 on the night and like. They're 2 for 3 in the night beyond the arc, whatever, like basketball, and they like whatever like, their percentage for the season, whatever. So stuff like that's really easy, but like some really good really good analysts, I feel like, can bring up like stories of like, oh yeah, you know, they actually picked up the game when they were this age, and like their dads, and they were like injured for like 2-3 years, and like some crazy story. It's like, yeah, that adds a lot to the broadcast.
Yeah.
Well, and then like on the professional broadcast, there are experts that probably actually played, so they know probably what's going through the coach's head or what's being said in a huddle. Like one time, my play-by-play guy asked me at a Gopher basketball game, he calls a timeout with a minute left. Jake, what do you think he's telling his players in this huddle right now, and what's the strategy? I played rec league basketball. I should be doing play-by. I just said he's probably telling him to keep it up and don't turn the ball over. And that's probably not true. So it's just
so
hilarious.
It's like, well, I've only played I've only played
I don't know.
intramurals, and I've had to tell my team to stop walking down the court and actually attempt to jog. So that's probably maybe what he's saying based on my experience.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and make sure we actually have enough players to show up so we don't forfeit.
That's a big part, man.
In intramurals.
Don't show up to the game drunk.
Yeah,
That's
don't
usually
show
a
up
rule.
drunk. Yeah, don't be buzzed. Don't
Like
be
like most
bitching.
sports,
Don't
that's a
take it
rule.
too seriously as well in intramurals. But
Yeah.
well, I'm sure have you had like, I mean, you don't have to call out anybody by name, but have you had any like awkward like color people you've worked with or talent?
You know, the first women's basketball game that I worked, my analyst and I, it was both of our first time calling basketball, so we were both like pretty nervous. And I mean, gosh, like when you're doing Big Ten plus, like it's all just about getting reps. It's about just like doing it the most that you can. So like I would just say like we were both pretty nervous, and sometimes we struggled with like exactly what we're talking about. Like sometimes he didn't really know like when to talk or things like that, and we would talk about it at breaks and stuff. But I mean, shoot, it was not only was the first time working the sport, it was the first time us working together. Like it takes some time to like establish that real rapport between two analysts or like play-by-play and analysts. So, and you know, when people are nervous and they don't really know what to say, like what really helps is like if you have an analyst who just like knows the sport so well. Like my analyst who I've worked with a lot with Gopher volleyball, who I do Big Ten Plus with, and then we did ESPN Plus too for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. And so she actually played for the Gophers, played volleyball for the Gophers. So like after the play, she would literally like we'd be watching the replay, and she'd be like, "Yeah, you see how her hands are pushing in this way," and say she had done something else, like it wouldn't have worked out, but like. That's really good analyst work. If you can literally analyze the play. Same thing in football, you know, when they show the play afterwards in slow-mo and they you know, like circle the guys, what's exactly what they're doing.
It makes it so much easier for the play-by-play. Like I had to do baseball, and that's a really slow game. Play-by-play was fun, but I had a couple interesting color guys. They're super nice people, but we were playing Indiana, and I was just mentioning something about the pitcher of the Gophers doing something really good, and then I don't know if he thought he had to say something. I just see him look down at his notes, and he's like, "Jake, the Gophers the Indiana baseball team, they are 6-8 at home this season." I'm like, we're playing in Minneapolis right now. Their home record in Indiana means nothing. I'm like, I don't even know I didn't even say anything.
Just don't even know how to respond to it either.
I just went right to the next
Or the
play.
guy who said he was the Kevin Durant
Yeah,
of
that's
baseball.
what I'm about to say. It made no sense.
That was at US Bank Stadium too. I remember like
The Kevin Durant of college baseball.
forgot what
Everyone knows one.
Yeah,
well,
his
then
name
you
was
just
Mike
say
or
you were just talking about a player, and he's like, he something. He Kevin Durant.
No,
Jake.
reminds me of Kevin Durant.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I think I said something when we went to break. I'm like, I couldn't play. I didn't know what to say off that. Like you gotta. I was pretty much trying to nicely say you gotta say something more relevant to the game. So, and then there was this one play where I was doing.
You gotta say something more relevant to the game.
Like I don't know, but we're just announcing basketball, probably a women's basketball game, and my color guy, I think I didn't really want him to necessarily talk at one play, but like we had someone else clipped it off and sent it to me after, like one of the producers, because it was pretty funny. But like it was like during a play where there's a layup and a foul, and the color guy was trying to announce what happened, and he was like, and he hits the player and he tries to try and fouled. And there's the ball, and he was just constantly stumbling. I'm like, dude, no. Okay.
Like the boom goes the dynamite guy.
It reminded me of that, but like I was not perfect at all because like the first game they threw me on was a women's soccer game and it was super fun, but I just kept saying the word battle over again. Apparently, there's a battle at midfield, battle, and my producer came in and he's like, "You gotta stop saying the word battle."
What about when you say penetrate a lot too?
I said penetrate
yes,
too.
Yes. I
said
remember
penetrate.
That. I just remember hearing that.
And my first like women's hockey game I did, I think I just kept saying
Come
they're
on.
penetrating the zone, and I'm like, but then it got better at more I did it, but I'm like, I found out words. I actually printed off like a list of words, like verbs and stuff, because I guess that's something I read in like that Doc Emmerich did, like when he was early on. I'm like, that would make sense, but I'm like, it felt weird, but I'm like, I gotta stop using the word penetrate. It's like, yeah, she penetrates the zone.
That's not something that you would expect, like, the feedback afterwards to be, too. Like, hey, listen, we were listening back, and, like, you got to stop saying that.
They would come up to me and like they said you gotta stop using the word battle, and I'm like, I don't know this.
I was told that I was using the word here too much. I'd be like, oh, yeah, we're here we are, and we're here.
That's
Oh,
easy
yep,
one.
here we
Here's
are.
a
Yep.
guy.
Here we
Oh, here they
are.
are. Here they come. Here they, yeah.
I think in every intro, like here
Like,
we are.
you're saying here a
Yeah.
lot, and I was like, all
We're
right,
at
my bad.
Ritter
I'll
Arena
cut that
here.
out.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to use that word.
No, seriously. It's like, well, it's like a filler word. Instead of saying
Yeah.
like in normal, I feel like I do a good job of not saying like on the broadcast, but a lot of times in person when I'm having normal conversations, I feel like I throw in the word like a lot, just filler words, you know,
Or
totally normal things people do. But I think
yeah.
my filler word on the air is here.
Yeah.
That is way better than like, though.
It is.
Because
It is.
when you see those videos of TikTokers who use the word like in every other word, you just want to beat your head against the desk.
Like
yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Those millennials, like the Gen Zers or whatever, like the like bro, like bruh. It's like the language in SpongeBob.
Dude, for all I know, that's how I've sounded on this podcast today. So.
I mean, I use it a lot too, probably. Yeah. So
Everyone uses it more than they notice.
I know. And then, but the problem is once you hear it once, you can't unhear
I know.
it.
Yeah.
Every time someone says it, you're like, ugh.
Like,
But then it's
like,
you and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I heard it like seven
That's
different
who I am.
times. I used it 7 times in one sentence.
I don't in like because that's like who I am. Like,
Like,
you know, literally.
Yeah, like,
No one says like more than a hockey player in an interview.
And
Or
they say
yeah, the
it's the
yeah.
I remember Brock Besser, he played with me at Burnsville, his first ever professional interview. He said there was a like counter at the bottom of the
Oh,
screen.
no.
Yeah, he said it 29
No.
times. Yeah, that was brutal.
oh, bummer.
That's always tough when you see that pop up on the screen.
Yeah, the like
The
counter.
like
like
counter.
counter.
We should put
Brutal.
one on this episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
I guarantee I said it a lot.
I've definitely said it a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
Now
it's
I'm-
funny. It's like, see,
you can't unhear it
I'm
now.
self-conscious about it now.
yeah. Now you can't get it out of your head.
But Jake,
gonna be a
like,
few
how
days.
self-conscious are you about it?
I'm like super self-conscious.
no.
I'm like super like self-conscious.
dude, I'm really
Jake,
fucking self-conscious.
It's trying to penetrate the word like.
Yeah, we gotta put a pin in it, and we gotta keep
Yep.
penetrating the word like here in the zone, and it's a battle. With the
Dude, you gotta
penetration.
stop saying
I know.
penetrate.
That was,
yeah, holy shit.
yeah, it's funny.
That's great.
Well, guys, any final questions?
Yeah, the
before
last
we-
one I had is you have your own clothing line with Fangirl. How did you come up with a lot of those designs? They're around like the Gopher logo, right?
Yeah. This hat's actually Fangirl, but
Yeah.
so I met them same day I met you guys.
3M?
No.
Wait.
Did you forget when we met? No, I'm just embarrassed.
Give me a minute.
I don't know how much we really met though. We were sitting at the same table, but I don't know if we met. I knew who you were.
at Tom's Watch Bar.
Yes.
Oh.
Ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding.
Yep, the night we were invited when it opened. Yes. Or
Yes.
on the week it opened.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You were with Fangirl there, or they
No,
were there?
that was just how we met.
Oh, okay.
Like literally,
Perfect.
the whole thing came from that.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So, and then we kind of got to talking, met a few times, and then, but that was back, about a year ago now.
Yeah, it was like
That's
in the
right.
spring of 2022.
Were they just open for Vikings playoffs around
No.
then?
It was wild.
Oh, it was wild. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was, yeah.
So it was sooner than that. It was sooner
See, this
than
is
spring.
bad.
It was
I
like
can't
March.
I can't even remember that.
Yeah, it was
think
like
it was-
March
was
or
it March?
April
I
of
think it was-
2022.
I think
Something
it
like
was it not sooner than that?
I have no idea.
Wait, you were there that night?
Wow.
No, I'm not trying. This
Yeah.
is how bad my memory
Wow.
is.
Because I think you we talked to you briefly like after like the very end.
Yeah.
When you were leaving.
Probably walked
Yeah.
by.
Yes.
and said hello.
Now I feel like a
I'm
dumbass.
I'm like, wait.
Big time
that's-
you.
I remember we're like, guys, that's Emma Carpenter.
it's fine. I'll get
She's
over
done
it.
stuff with the 3 Emerald, and I think you
I'll get
all
over
were
it.
saying, like, oh
Oh.
yeah, that's who she was, like, because I think we were trying to figure out who that was at the end.
Well, you said
Shut
it was at,
up!
you said
You
it was,
guys
yeah.
didn't even know I was there.
Well,
Well,
if it was at the end of the
we
night
were
when
talking to
talked,
Tom.
there was probably a lot of alcohol involved, is what I
Yes.
assume. So we probably
I
that's
think
why we
it
don't
they had
remember.
really good drinks.
Yeah,
there.
it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Really good food.
And we got into conversations with Tom, the actual owner. Like,
I was sitting
Who's
next.
the
So I was
beauty?
sitting next to Tom
Yeah.
the majority.
Yeah.
So probably when he moved over to you, it was
Yes.
about the time I was on my way out. But,
yeah,
So,
good dude.
but
Yeah.
beside the point. So yeah.
But now we know.
See,
now we all officially know
but-
each other.
But that's
now.
more out of stupidity for us not
No, that was
realizing
just
that's
dumb.
you than like.
No, it's.
I
okay.
said
because
it.
we try to be good networkers, but sometimes we're just stupid.
It's okay.
Well, that's our whole brand.
Yeah,
I
we're,
mean,
we're mainly just stupid.
we're
I
stupid
won't
people.
cry about it for that long. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But so basically just we got in touch that day, connected that day, and then stayed in touch, met a few times, and then just kind of they were like, hey, listen, what do you think about like an Emma Carpenter exclusive style line? And I was like, if people want to buy that, like, totally.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I mean, I just think their concept is so awesome with the fact that there's just such a need for women's sports apparel that's like comfortable and cute and like not like literally sports apparel always goes the route of like just typical apparel that's like unisex.
Yeah, the logo.
Exactly.
Standard.
Men's stuff. Or if they want to do a women's section, it'll be like not even team colors, pink, sparkles,
Yeah,
cursive.
the typical.
Yeah.
Bejeweled.
Bejeweled. And it's like, come on, why? So their concept is awesome, and then they said that they were working on getting Gopher licensing, so
nice.
that
Sick.
they could actually use Gopher logos and
that'd be
stuff.
so cool.
So I was like, 100%, that'd be awesome. I know
Yeah.
for me myself, also when I sing the national anthem, they always want me to wear Gopher styles, and this whole collaboration was also through social media. So what they had envisioned. So a lot of the stuff that I had posted of me singing the national anthem, I'm wearing Gopher stuff, but I've always literally, because I didn't have a whole lot of cute Gopher stuff to wear, I would wear team issued shirts that said like Minnesota Golf on them.
Yeah.
They were like, I wear to work out, like literal workout shirts. So I was like, I could wear it for that. I can wear them for football games. Like totally. That'd be so cool. So then they were kind of like, okay, well, you can pick some of the styles that we're designing, or if you want to, we can design some yourself. So I was like, really cool. So
Sweet.
designed 2 styles myself, and they came to life amazingly, and I was like so unbelievably excited. I'm so excited. I just feel really, really lucky that they wanted me to do this with them. They're so awesome. I love them to death. So great to work with, and just really, really excited that it all happened.
Yeah.
Would it
that's so cool.
completely defeat the purpose if they had a fangirl line for men?
Well, that's the funny thing. Like so many of my buddies and stuff, they're just like, man, like wish we could support you, but it's literally like
Just for-
cropped
yeah.
women's stuff.
Well, I've
I'm like,
seen
no,
it.
I think it look good on you.
Yeah.
Jake, I
It's
can
really
see you
cool.
rocking a crop top.
I might just buy one. I'm gonna break the mold, the stereotype.
There you go.
or something.
There you go.
That
Yeah.
fangirl men cannot wear fangirl apparel.
I like it.
So I'm
I
gonna
like
break. I'm gonna break it.
Breaking trends,
Break that
baby.
stereotype.
trends.
Penetrate that
Yeah,
stereotype.
I gotta penetrate
Penetrate the
that.
stereotype.
Penetrate the stereotype, and it's just gonna be a huge battle. But
Jake, show up to like the coldest game of the year this year, the
Yeah.
Gopher football game, just wearing like one of the crop tops.
yes,
Perfect.
I might have to do
Yeah,
Perfect.
against Wisconsin.
I like that.
and
There's a
the year.
windbreaker if
Yeah.
it's windy.
that. Okay,
Ooh.
I'll buy both.
There you go.
Yes, then I'm
There
good
you
to go, and I have the fangirl setup. I'm ready to go. Yeah,
You're layered up.
yeah, I'm layered up.
That's perfect.
layered up.
That's perfect. So yeah, it's awesome. So excited. Love
Yeah.
the stuff. So
That's cool.
thank you. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Yeah,
We're-
thank
Yeah.
you.
No, thank you guys. This is so much fun.
Where
You-
can everyone support you? Because I know you said you have your own podcast, and
Yes.
you've had Bryson
Yes.
DeChambeau on, which is fucking awesome.
DeChambeau?
Thanks. Yeah. That's it. I don't even think I've heard that before.
Really?
Really?
No.
You've never heard of
DeChambeau?
DeChambeau?
And
No,
there's-
that's a pretty good
there's
one.
the negative people, DeCham douchebag.
Oh,
But
we
no,
won't-
I'm just that.
we won't talk about that.
No. We just heard people say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Correct.
That
But
wasn't
we
you
like-
guys. You heard
No.
people.
No,
say
no,
it.
we would
yeah,
never
you
say
shared.
that.
DeChambro is what we've said.
Yeah, that's what we call
Yeah,
them.
that's a
Which
good
we
one.
say it in a positive connotation.
Right.
but-
Right. Yes. Yes.
Ever since he switched back to the normal hats, we've been big fans.
Of
him.
course.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Actually?
That wasn't actually the difference, but
But
something to do with
you
it.
actually had an opinion about the hats?
no.
Oh.
I didn't like him until he started showing his personality online, and I found out he was cool because
Yeah.
back in the early days, like he would just talk about all the sciencey math stuff, and then he never really like talked outside of. But then he started doing podcasts and stuff, and you saw the personal side of him, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
he's actually a pretty cool dude.
Right.
Yeah, he's just so intense on the course,
Yeah. Just a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I'm
know.
sure it's
What are
a-
your guys' thoughts on Brooks Koepka?
I'm fine with Brooks. I mean, he's an alpha, sometimes a douchebag, but
I've always liked Brooks Koepka. I didn't really fully get into golf until like the mid 2010s, like following the different, getting into the golfers' personalities. And I liked Brooks. I saw like a chew in his back pocket,
A chop.
a tin or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah.
I like this guy because at the time when I was starting to just get into golf, I've had to chew to like calm down on the course. And I realized this is turning into probably an addiction. So I got to stop. But I'm like, Brooks is one of us. So I always liked Brooks.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Fair.
Yeah.
But sorry, to answer your question.
Sorry.
No, that was me. I was asking you guys questions. To answer your question, so I'm on Instagram. My handle, username, Emma Carpenter, 3 M's, all lowercase, obviously, because I think they're all lowercase anyway. But
Yeah.
my Twitter is the exact same thing because I got hacked a couple years ago, so had to remake the Twitter account. And my TikTok, Emma Carpenter. And also my podcast, 5 Clubs Golf Podcast. I got my own segment. So does Gary Williams and Jay Billis.
Nice.
So they release theirs. Gary releases his really regularly. I think Jay, similar to me, does monthly, quarterly type stuff. So yeah, but I got a podcast tomorrow morning with Annika Sorenstam. So
nice.
Awesome.
Legend.
really pumped up about that, and should be released soon. But yeah, thank you guys so
sweet.
much. You guys are awesome. Your guys' stuff is really, really awesome. So
Yeah.
congrats
Thank
on everything
you.
you've done.
Thanks.
Really.
Appreciate it.
sweet.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Your
Totally.
podcast sounds like it's on a whole other level than ours, but I mean,
It's a
we
real
appreciate it.
podcast.
Yeah. This one's not real. No.
That is so untrue.
Someone's got to get drunk and
That
talk
just
about
doesn't make
sports.
sense. that
Your equipment is so much more advanced than mine. You got this
Really?
you got this $4,000 table. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. See, you paid attention. Yeah, you got to tell people it's a $4,000 table.
And now we're gonna go bankrupt
Yep.
just because of this table, but
Yep.
we'll make it back.
Yeah, can I borrow it actually?
Maybe gotta unscrew it and
Can I rent it from you?
Yeah. You just have to take it in and out of here by yourself. So.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
No problem.
Just get like a
Stuff with it.
2-wheeler. It'll be fine.
Perfect.
Yeah. Actually, you could probably recruit one of the crackheads down there to help you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're always looking
Actually,
for a
I
dollar.
was kind of networking outside before this.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, you never know who one of them used to be.
Give him a shooter in there.
What?
Well, they could have been successful.
Yes, at one point.
And then maybe they'll get back into that. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
What's the movie? There's a movie about that where there's a homeless guy and then he ends up turning into like a super
Pursuit
athlete.
of Happy? No. That's-
Stock trader. Yeah.
Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness
Yeah.
with
Will
Will
Smith?
Smith and
Yeah,
his
he's like
son.
homeless with his
Yeah.
kid at one
That's
point,
a great
right?
movie.
Yeah.
Maybe
I actually haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that in forever.
You'll cry if you see it, but it is a great inspirational
Really?
movie. Yeah.
Will Smith has some good movies. You guys seen 7 Pounds?
No.
I have not seen
I
that.
haven't.
Oh my
I heard
gosh.
it's great though.
Really, really fire film. You guys should listen to it.
I saw that.
Listen to it.
I don't know what
Watch
it's
it.
called though.
You could listen to it too, I guess, but it wouldn't be the
Listen
same.
to it in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long road trip.
There you go.
I don't know what it's called, but it's that movie with him and Chris Rock, and he hits him in the face on the stage.
That's the Oscars last year.
That was the Oscars, the 2020. It was trying to make a joke. Didn't. We had the
No,
drums.
I think
Jack got it.
Yeah, he got the
Yeah, I've seen that one before.
Yeah, it's a good
That
one.
was the Oscars last year.
It's called the Oscars.
It was fantastic.
That was a good one.
Keep your wife's name out of your mouth.
Wasn't there like real animosity involved though? Like
That was
he
real,
like,
I guess.
that was real.
Yeah.
I guess unless that was all just rigged. I don't know.
Like it wasn't even like a
No,
PR
he,
stunt.
no.
It
He
was
made
like,
such an ass out
no,
of
he's
himself
actually
that
pissed.
had to have been.
Well, in
the
California,
moment.
that's basically murder if you slap someone,
Fuck your
especially in
mouth.
public. So.
But now if you're a celebrity though, you're good.
No, I'm saying if you're a celebrity, it's even worse because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like way more personal.
You're right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Emma.
Thank you guys. This is a lot of fun. This was a ton of fun. So
Yeah.
excited to listen to all the podcasts done in the studio from here on out.
Oh man, it's gonna be good.
bad.
We got well,
be
bad,
fun.
good, depending on your
Yeah.
definition of good and bad.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks
thank
again.
you guys.
Bye.
10K is proud to be sponsored by Better Edge. Better Edge is a legal online social betting marketplace that allows you to post and engage with other sports betting fans, place no commission positions in an online marketplace, compete in direct head-to-head challenges with horrible bettors such as myself, producer Cam, journalist Jake, and Bossman. You can compete in public or private betting competitions, and you can buy or sell positions such as spread, over/under, money line, etc., all at current market prices. All you have to do is use promo code 10K at betteredge.com to get a free $20 when you sign up and verify your ID. Once again, that's 10K at betteredge.com to get a free $20. Win some money today.
All right, welcome back to It's a Bit, folks. Very great interview with Emma. She's awesome. She's a rock star. She's doing a ton. Make sure to go check her out. Check out her podcast. Check out her clothing line. I know Jake's going to be buying one of those crop tops for probably the Wisconsin game because it'll be the coolest one of the year.
And the windbreaker they have as well.
Yep.
I'm going to be showcasing it well.
I think she's got hats, though. Are those unisex hats? Hats are unisex,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'll buy one of those as well.
Okay, there we go. But we're going to do the first. This is a big deal. We're actually ending the show with the bit. But if you think about it, the bit of the week is really the core of the show. And save the best for last.
I like
So
that.
Have the bits take us home. I guess we'll start with you, Producer Cam. What do you got for a bit?
I have the antidepressant bit. This goes
Alcohol, and then just, all right, Jake, what's your bit?
Painkillers, Oxy.
This goes actually with what we talked about with the Twins on the first segment, or in the first segment, is today I was at work when the game first started, and then I was watching it. Obviously, it was an absolute shit show. And then I was at home before I came to the studio, and I was depressed as fuck. And I was like, what am I going to do? This sucks. And hockey was on. It was like an antidepressant. So it's like when you get rid of one sport and another comes, and then you're not depressed anymore, and you forget about all your trauma in life, and then you don't want to see a psychiatrist anymore.
A couple of memes to visualize that. The classic Homer Simpson one where he goes in the bushes as one team, comes out of the bushes as the new team, and then the Band-Aid where the boo-boo is
Or Flex Seal.
Or Flex Seal, yeah. slapping the tank.
Yep.
Slapping the tank, the Band-Aid and the Flex Seal. I still think my favorite Flex Seal meme was the gaping hole with water coming out of it said, sorry, I didn't.
He said gape.
Yeah, that was.
We're penetrating today.
Gape,
We're
penetrated
gaping
or
holes.
gaping.
Gape.
All the verbs. The hole in the tank with all the water coming out said, like your corporation laying off thousands of employees and cutting wages. And then the guy slapping says corporate, and then the Flex Seal says a pizza party.
Yes, exactly.
That's a great
I've
meme.
been part of one of those
I know.
before, so I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
My favorite one that I've done personally, I think it was like the first meme I think I ever put on the Instagram page, was back when the Wolves were really bad. I was at one of their games, and the hole with the water coming out of it said the Wolves losing by 20. And then the arm slap said the Target Center, and then the Flex Seal said laying down a beat because they just play music when the
Yep.
It's like play like Jack Harlow or something, and the team's losing by 30.
Today for me, it was the Homer Simpson one. On the first picture, I was wearing a Twins jersey and a Twins foam finger. I went into the bushes, and I came out looking like Rob Lowe, the NHL, with an NHL logo hat, but I still had the foam finger because we still have hope, but I was just less depressed because hockey's...
Can you buy general NHL apparel, like with the logo?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We need to roll into one of their games with just the hats and see how many people tell
we
us
just
to
all
go.
What we should do is the sickest hats I've ever seen are just like normal hats with the old school retro NHL logo.
With the orange.
The orange.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those are sick.
What we need to do is just all dress up as refs and see how many people want to jump us.
Yeah, like literally you're taking it out on us like it was like me wearing the Joey Gallo jersey, like guy following me around the stadium.
Speaking of
Joey
Joey
G
Gallo.
revenge tour, boys.
Yeah,
2022, 23.
God,
Hey,
Jake,
play him now.
Jake,
Play him now.
What's his batting average in the playoffs?
A whopping 0. But he's 0 for 0. He hasn't got out yet.
Hey, he has the same amount of hits as Byron Buxton.
Yeah.
Remember
Jake,
that.
Yeah.
He has less
Bucks.
strikeouts than anyone on the team, I think, right now.
Jake, you're one of a really good friend of mine, but your baseball takes might be the worst fucking thing I've ever experienced in my
Got
life.
that grin on his face.
It's so bad.
Jake, can we burn that shirt?
Just a fan of Josh Donaldson and Joey Gallo. Seek help.
Hey, those are two baseball guys, man. Come on.
Seek help.
Joey Gallo was fun in May,
But
though.
it's funny.
At least to
I
Jake's
was-
credit, he did get all of that Joey Gallo stuff in May. It'd be really weird if
He was on fire.
If he bought all of that now, that would be really weird.
And when I
That'd be
did buy the
good,
Josh Donaldson stuff too, it was also at a point when he was doing well with us. Like it was definitely his peak with us for sure. Like I didn't just buy this shit when they were like really bad or like we heard all this stuff coming out. But in hindsight, I probably should have been like, these guys might not be here. I was just super hyped about Josh Donaldson because I'm like, oh, we actually went out and got a guy, you know, and
It's
put
just-
us money and he's
we got
hyped.
a guy. He's not the guy.
Cam, I'm not saying they're the best baseball
No,
players
I
in the
know.
world. Calm down.
What it is though is it's hilarious because you just get financially invested in like their merch and then you just have to hold on to them.
But I got Shields cash with the Donaldson Bringer of Rain. That was I love that fucking that button up. That was sick.
Classic capitalism. It's like you spend $130 on a shirt for a guy who immediately gets traded, and you've won another $10 to go shop there. You're like,
No.
time to go spend another $100.
$25 gift card, better than taking taxes out of my paycheck.
And I could
So,
buy you
there
a
we
can-
go.
you could buy the candy bar there.
Yeah, not for just that shirt though. I have that same credit card and I'm not gonna lie, the rewards are awful.
I spent enough there where
not
I've
a
got.
sponsor. We also love Shields. In
I
case
love
they want to
Shields.
sponsor the podcast.
They love us. The marketing
True.
people are
I never
great.
said it was awful.
You got to
so-
spend enough money there. I spent enough money there where I've got like over $100 in gift cards, and it's turned out really well for me.
You have to
Nice,
spend at least
dude.
$1,000 to get a $25 gift card. So
a little,
it's really-
little less than that.
All right, journalist Jake, what's your bet?
It's the you never know bit. So this is in reference to a lot of like the Twins right now. We got killed today, or like when we were down 9-1 and it was going in the bottom of the ninth, and they're talking about a comeback. You never know.
Fucking hate
And-
that bit.
And this goes back to another bit of with my dad growing up when I would be disappointed and see our team getting killed. And he's like, you never know. And I remember he said, you never know, specifically when we were 1-5 in the 2010 season, the Gopher football season, and Brewster was pretty much on his way out. He was one game away. And my dad's like, the only way I see him keeping his job is if he wins out. And I'm like, oh, well, do you see that happening? He's like, you never know. You never know.
I don't think I've ever heard my father use those words. I've heard him say it's over probably more
Yeah,
than I've heard him
which-
say any other words.
Which is weird. Well, I'd say in recent years, my dad has gone to the bit of the it's over bit. But growing up, it was, you never know. You never
Yeah.
know. So
I'm surprised your dad had that much positivity like 30, 40 years
Growing
in,
up,
because we're
I
in our
know.
late 20s, and I think we're all getting more and more pessimistic when it comes to sports.
yeah, he's growing up. He would say he'd throw around the you never know, and I still catch myself saying it.
You never know.
I always say, well, you never know.
Hey,
Like
Vikings playing 49ers without Justin Jefferson. You never
you never know. And that's the thing and this is something my uncle always said growing up.
Any given
picture one
Sunday.
Uncle.
Yeah, that's literally what any given Sunday means.
You never know. And just like go for basketball, you do know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you're sure of.
But other than that, you never know.
Other than
You-
go for
but-
basketball.
But it's just like the idea or the adage of saying like you can say you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. We don't have to go to work tomorrow if we really don't want to. It's just like
Well, that was like me today in St. Paul. I didn't pay for parking because I really didn't want to.
you don't have to if you don't want to. That could be
No.
another bit, honestly. But
Yeah.
like the no bit, I don't know. But it's just like this. We don't know the future.
Saying
you
no
know?
to the federal government.
Yeah,
It usually
exactly.
goes well.
That could go well. But you never know. The Vikings could win the Super Bowl this year. You never know.
It's true. You don't know.
But
Yeah.
so we'll see. You
All
never
right.
know, bit.
Wags, what do you got?
I got the police chase bit. Our good friend Bubba drove me to the Gopher game, and he went with me to the Gopher game when we got killed by Michigan. I totally forgot because I haven't ridden in a car with him in years that he like thrill drives where he will literally drive way too fast. He'll ride people's asses way too closely. He'll slam on his brakes way too hard because he puts himself into these scenarios that you should never be in as a driver. Well, we are approaching an exit near Minneapolis to get towards Dinkytown and stuff like that. And you know how there's always like a big backup in that right lane of traffic to like exit onto just to get on that exit, right? Well, Bubba cuts over at the last second, and he's about to run into the car at the back of the line. So what he does, he goes onto the shoulder of the road to avoid doing it. He's like, "Oh, I'm already here." He drives about a half mile up the road and then cuts someone off, and he essentially cut the whole line by driving on the shoulder and cutting back in.
So on the Loring
no.
Tunnel, right?
Yeah, and
I've seen a BMW do that
yeah,
before.
and this is very dangerous to do.
Oh yeah, I know it's stupid because the tunnel comes up quick.
So he does this, and we get a little bit past the tunnel or whatever, and all of a sudden there's 7, 8 cop cars we see in the background. I'm like, oh my God, we have the whole entire police force on our ass right now. Pull the fuck over. And all of a sudden, he pulls over, and everyone else is pulling over too. And it's the Michigan team bus driving by.
Oh.
But I swear to God, as I was sitting there, I was like, why did I go to the fucking game with this kid? I'm going to get thrown. There's going to be police officers with guns raised. Get out of your fucking car to us.
It looks like he's like leaving in the scene of a crime.
Right? Yeah. And so I was just waiting for something horrible to happen. But yeah, that was my police chase.
I'm kind of surprised you were nervous about that, because normally when you're in Minneapolis and you see multiple sirens, you don't really bat an eye.
I guess you don't, but we saw the cars because they were driving right by us, so we saw them coming in the back. So that's the only, because there was when they have like the train with the bus going by, they have 3 cop cars and then the bus, and that's all I saw were the cop cars.
Dude, you should have known too. Like, this is the guy that's Bubba since high school who would drive crazy, and we would say, "You're going to kill us," and he would be like, "I've had a good run."
Yeah,
This is the guy that's been saying this for 10 years.
He's willing to kill you.
Yep. But I haven't yet. Don't kill me. I don't care.
I've driven with Bubba before. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not okay. I'm not picking on you, Jake. I swear to fucking God, I'm not. And I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah, I'm a crazy driver. Yeah,
You're a horrifying driver. Not as bad as Bubba, but it's scary.
I would agree. I like to. I overly speed.
Yeah.
I brake really quick.
No wonder your wheel speed sensor went haywire. Can't keep up with you.
Yeah, dude. No, I agree. I've been like that. I try to get places too quick and don't think.
How many tickets do you have?
Surprisingly, not a lot. I think I've had not parking tickets, right? Like
no,
just okay.
Like driving tickets.
I think I've had 3 all time. 2 all time.
You got one
and
driving me to hockey
and that was
practice.
bullshit. That was nothing to do with speeding. They just pulled me over because I was a fucking teenager, and they admitted that in court. And I took it to court.
Yeah.
I said, "Fuck this."
They did,
and they just
the judge made him write an essay so he wouldn't get a ticket.
Yeah, I just
Hey,
need to
that's
write
worth
it.
it,
I was
though.
a senior in
Save you
high
some
school.
money.
They're like, just write a ticket on what you want to be when you grow up, and we'll drive
an
it from
essay.
record. Otherwise, I've had
And
only 2 speeding tickets.
And then you
beyond
proceeded to write an entire essay about how you wanted to be a porn star, and
Yep.
you handed it in to the jury, and you
dude.
got off without it.
that.
I want to sling crack rock.
It had to be 8 pages, but they didn't give me font specifications or whatever.
Oh, no,
requirements.
was it?
I just put 3248 font. Just type. I want to be this, and
I want to be a football player.
Yeah, that
okay,
sounds
Jimmy,
like-
keep trying. You'll get there one day.
it actually sounds like one of Bubba's papers in high school. I want to be a football player. Okay. No, but I'm a crazy driver.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I'm crazy too, but I think I'm a little more controlled about it. But I will admit there are times where I call myself an asshole in the truck to myself when no one else is there. So
Driving to this our new studio here in St. Paul, you sometimes have to drive like an asshole.
oh yeah, if you want to
to
get here in less than an hour,
In
Yeah.
Minnesota, you have to almost too.
yeah, to keep up, to survive.
Yes, I'm embracing my asshole driver.
Drive to
recently.
survive, a Minnesota driving story.
You know
all
what's
right.
really quick, since we're talking about Bubba, the funny thing is the show It's a Bit, like, it was my idea for Bubba because he used to call everything a bit. It's just funny going full circle.
Well, no, it's
how,
funny
like,
because I think you and I were talking because back when we had the Minnesota Rundown, it was our main show. Bubba was still a part of this for because I don't know, but we're like, hey, you see, we should start a show. We can call it a bit something or whatever, and there was supposed to be a show around him.
Yeah, this show
he
was
brings
made
that
for
up.
Bubba, yeah.
He's like, you fuckers, I deserve compensation. You're like, no,
He
you
wants
don't.
royalties because he threw out the name.
And then he was like bitching because he bought one of our hats on our store, and he's like he tried to get out of us what cut we're making on everything, He's like, no, I want you to give me the cut that you make on it. Why?
That's not how it works.
This guy, he's such an idiot.
He sent us a picture in our group chat of him sitting there without a shirt on. I don't know if he had pants on or whatever, and all he's wearing is the hat. And he goes, cool hat. It's like, is this really the photo you chose?
I think he was on the shitter.
Yeah,
He
that's
definitely
probably
was
what
on the
happened.
shitters.
All right, I'll take us home here. I have the just off the grid bit. Jake, you kind of did this a couple weeks ago when you were at the Boundary Waters. I've mentioned it enough times to show my brother got married last weekend. Congrats, TJ and Riley. Very fun weekend. And it was nice to just accept that I was going to miss. I missed a lot of sporting events. Totally fine. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. I didn't text anyone back. I didn't open Snapchats. I didn't respond to DMs. Didn't look at emails. My phone was essentially just a paperweight in my pocket. And it was so nice to just put my phone on Do Not Disturb, not care about the Vikings losing, about the Twins losing, about the Gophers losing, even though I was checking in scores, to just have fun and be a person. You forget about how much Minnesota sports consumes you, sports specifically. And it made me realize that I could probably be a way happier person if I didn't put myself through all the shit that we do as Minnesota sports fans. That also sounds miserable because that's how much I love sports. But it was kind of funny to just experience what you experienced for a weekend, not really be on your phone at all, and just be a human being again, surrounded by people you love. There's nothing that can upset you in that. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're at a Twins game, when you're at a Wild game, when you're at and these teams lose, it just fucking wrecks your day. Whereas when you go to a wedding and you don't talk to anyone but the people you're with, you're like, oh, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Dude, you're so right about that, like mental health with Minnesota sports. Every single Sunday when the Vikings lose, it's just depressing, right? You have work the next day. Your football team sucks. For me, that's the number one team where if I watch them and they lose, I'm literally depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in general though, like the sports aspect on top of it, already on top of social media, taking a break from social media in general and the content aspect.
And that's so hard for us too. Just we're all we run social media pages, so
it's rough. But
I will say I had enough people at this wedding ask me what the score was of the game, so I started off my brother's best man speech by giving the score update of the Twins game. So I'm a Minnesota sports guy through and through. Even when I'm off the grid, I'm still going to provide the people what they want. They want the score. I was getting so many score requests that I just had to work that into the speech because I'm a man of the people. But other than that, I didn't really fulfill any duties as a Minnesota sports connoisseur as I normally do. And it felt pretty good to take the weekend off. I'm back. I have hope again. But it was just, after looking at those scores, I'm like, cool, I didn't miss shit. Yeah. And it ended up being a pretty good night.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Well, it's funny, too, in the Boundary Waters, we couldn't even, like, see the score. I remember I was thinking, like, I wonder what the score of the Gopher game is right now. I haven't, like, touched my phone. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's just no service.
But that's great because guess what? A second later, you forget about it and you enjoy God's
getting
beautiful
mauled
earth with fun people and getting, mauled and
by bears.
And molested by bears. But also, But it's just so nice. It's so nice every now and then to just go off the grid and just experience life with great people and just take a little break. So I picked the best weekend possible to do that. Minnesota sports went over through that weekend, but that's it. Great show, fellas. Another great one.
We powered through it.
We did. Thanks again, folks, for tuning into It's a Bit. Make sure to go to the website 10ktakesmn.com to read all the blogs. Go to the listen tab on that page to listen to all the various podcasts in the 10K network. I know Wild Takes is spinning back up now that the Wild season's going. We also have a Matt Boldy jersey giveaway. If you're still listening to the show at this point, go to Instagram or Twitter. We're giving away a Matt Boldy jersey, and we have all the new stuff in the shop. But thanks so much for supporting us as always. 10K Takes on all socials. We hope and pray that next week when we talk to you, we will be in the ALCS. The Wild will be undefeated. The Vikings will have finally gotten a win. And the Gophers will still be on a bye, which is better than losing. So thanks for listening to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. We'll see you next week.